I'm not distracted by Chate.
What's up? How's everybody doing tonight?
Hello.
Welcome to the Ironwood Tavern. Hope you guys are having a fantastic evening. We are returned with our normal campaign. Sawyer was kind enough to run a one-shot for us last time.
Hooray!
But now we're back to the main campaign with Moira and Pip and Calypso and Noel.
Were we live last time for that?
No. Wait, for your one-shot?
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot.
Yeah, we played that in place of my game.
Everyone knows my shame. Okay.
Orkin Gillis, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to the Ironwood Tavern. And Stuzy, also, hello, welcome. We are returning to our normal campaign. Who wants to give the lowdown or cooperative lowdown reminder of what happened last time?
We might be dead.
Well, there
might be dead.
There was a boat.
Yeah.
In the present past turn and the past turn, as we were on a boat last time, and now there used to be a boat.
All right, but some stuff happened before the boat as well.
Yes, we got on the boat.
That didn't happen.
We followed the princess.
Yes, we tailed the princess as per our instructions by her father. It wasn't something creepy. And, it is a little bit.
It's still...
And then there was some...
We're still kind of stalking her.
There was some unfriendly occurrences. She went off for an evening walk.
Oh, yeah. And we had to, semi-save her.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You and...
Or
Pip
totally save her.
And you blew your cover.
Well, I mean, she can...
Well, she might have seen my face.
Yeah.
It's unclear. She definitely didn't see Noel.
Yes. Hidden in the shadows.
Right.
And
I Batmaned it out of there. So we pretty much stopped her from being robbed.
Mm-hmm.
That
time. And
we got
there were other times.
Platinum.
Yeah, the person...
We're the heroes.
Oh, no,
okay.
she did get robbed. Because then I was watching her walk through a crowd and she got, picked up. But I didn't do anything about it.
She got cut first.
Because there was, a billion people around.
As someone who's been cut first in a game before, them's the breaks, kid.
I know what your struggle.
That's just the way it is. You learn to wear a neck purse.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you put all your money in a shoe.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
2.5 Men taught me that.
Are we still talking about D&D?
Yeah, we are. We are.
Or did you get cut first in real life?
No, I got cut first in a town in a custom campaign, and man, as a wizard that was trying to learn spells, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because suddenly I was broke, and I couldn't learn the 3 spells I had on spell scrolls.
One broke wizard.
New
wizard. TV show coming this fall.
Yes. But yeah, so we saved her from being mugged and murdered, and instead she got cut first. And then we got on the boat, and we maintained our distance.
Everything was fine until...
And then she was chilling out and talking to some dude on the side of the boat. And there was a boat in the distance. And then...
He grabbed her hands and she dimension doored out of there.
Yes.
With him. And then we got hit by a
big
bunch
boat.
of war chanters.
Were you certain about the dimension door thing?
Yeah.
You were pretty sure? Okay.
We saw her disappear.
She disappeared.
Okay.
She touched a guy and they both poofed out of there.
Okay.
Yeah. And character-wise, you don't know who did it.
Correct.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
one of the two of them.
Noel and Sawyer were extremely confused at the time. And then later introspection, then it was Dimension Doors.
Yeah.
Remind me about the war chanters, because the only notes I have are war chanters, combined powers can tear shit up.
Pretty much
That's
accurate.
basically what
That's
I
what
have.
I remember too.
Pretty much accurate.
Okay.
You didn't, as one of the residents of the planet that actually knows a lot about that sort of casting, because you had rolled relatively well on that.
Right.
You didn't really think war chanters were still a thing, because there haven't been any wars in a long time.
That's right.
But you know that, yes, when they combine their energies and sing these ancient songs, they can channel their powers to do incredible things.
Gotcha. All right.
Like ram our boat.
Like
Well, like because you guys didn't.
did the boat not like split in half or something? Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
is. It was.
Like we got
It was bad.
It was
For sure.
cut in twain.
Yeah, you guys
Also-
didn't see the boat until the last minute as
Yeah.
it came out of the black, thick, foggy clouds.
Also, and I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that I wrote this down because I rolled a really high perception check. I wrote that he cast a spell and they disappeared. Like I
Yeah.
underlined the word he.
All right.
So I don't remember. I do not remember why I did that, but I feel like it was because I rolled a perception check, and I know that. I think. So that's a thing.
Yeah. But what was funny, meta-wise, I was talking to Sawyer about this earlier, and here's was watching the rerun today while I had it running. I put my headphones on at one point while I was working just to like recap myself a little bit in case anything came up that I needed to remember. And right when I put the headphones on was when a conversation started of when Sawyer and Pip had come back from following her outside, and she went upstairs, and you guys were discussing what to do next, and or no, it was right when you guys got to the inn, and she'd gone up to her room, and you were trying to figure out how to keep track of her, and you're like, yeah, because we need to watch these doors because they're the only two ways out, and then Noel was all, wait, did we ask if she has any magical abilities? And you're like, yeah, did we ask anything pertinent? And then John goes, dimension door! Like halfway through the session.
God.
Let me just predict it right here.
Excellent.
So that's a thing that happened.
Accidental foreshadowing.
Can we just roll the tapes back to where I was right?
Everybody
Yeah,
remember.
what kind of check is that?
Remember this moment.
So, alright, so before we dive in, let's take a brief moment because you leveled at the end of last session.
We did.
And so let's just give everybody the lowdown on what happened with your characters when they leveled. And if you feel like it, maybe give some insight into why you think your character has whatever new abilities that they have.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and start this way around the table with Noel.
Well, well, as Noel hit the frigid cold waters of the ocean, he thought, man, I am too close to all this shit. And, yeah, I took archery as my ranger attacks or fighting style, which kind of fits into Noel's whole thing where he's been up close and personal with a lot of problems in his life, and he's learning that, it's better to have some perspective and be further back. Not just in this situation, but in general.
In general.
And I got spells, but we'll
Dive into that later.
we'll let those pop out when they're necessary.
Well, Calypso took a little journey into the mists during our last session as well. And I think she got a little bit of a reward for that. So I have Channel Divinity now as a level 2 cleric, which when you're a trickster cleric means some fun stuff. And I have 20 hit points now, which makes me feel much better.
Nice. So gift from your lady.
Yes.
Okay.
The Lady of the Mists.
Pip's been spending his evenings trying to shape and get a better feel for the magic within him, and it's slowly showing the fruits thereof, and now he is able to expend some sorcerer points there.
And level 3 is when you pick your big thing, right? Or is it level?
I don't know, sorcerers.
So there was the origin, the sorcerer origin,
Right.
if that's what
Right.
you're talking
Yeah,
about. That's already been decided.
Right.
He is of wild magic is his
Right.
is Pip's thing.
Oh, you're doing the wild magic.
Wild
I should have been rolling shit. Why didn't
Right,
you tell me
yeah.
you were doing that? I need my PhD
Oh,
back.
God.
So that translates to at any point when I cast a spell, the DM can require me to roll a d20, and if I roll a 1, shit goes crazy with my spell.
I need to write on your thing that you have wild magic,
Right.
because I missed that.
What a fun thing to introduce.
Yeah.
What is
We might get a
wild magic?
unicorn as an ally.
There's a big old
Sometimes
chart.
it doesn't work.
Yeah, there's a bunch of random stuff that can happen.
Or sometimes
it's
it
a
works
D1
really well.
Yeah.
It's a D100 table that is insane.
Yeah.
And the flip side of that is I have Tides of Chaos, and once per long rest, I can gain advantage on a d20 roll. Because I'm just so crazy with all my magics.
Yeah.
Magic crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, wild magic surge.
Right.
So, basically, once per turn, the DM can have you roll a d20 immediately after you cast a sorcerer spell of first level or higher. If you roll a 1, roll on the wild magic surge table for a random effect. This is the table.
Yeah, there's some...
There's a lot.
Some of that stuff is good.
Some of it's good.
Like summoning a unicorn to be your ally. For like
You are immune to being intoxicated by alcohol for the next 5d6 days.
Are you?
Random
Oh,
things.
okay.
That'd be very negative.
Yeah, I was like,
That'd be a negative for Pip.
There's
Yeah.
one involving bubbles, I
So-
think, and there's all kinds of
Bubbles?
stuff. Yeah.
All sorts of things, and I don't think I realized that Pip was wild magic. I'm just gonna stick your card in there so that that's handy and available. And Moira, what happened to Moira?
She chose to go towards a Circle of the Moon path, I
Alright.
guess. So she's been getting more familiar with different types of beasts and their different abilities and all that stuff.
Background music.
Yes, and
No,
I can't do
this
water.
is actually the tavern music.
Oh, that sounded like
It's just raining.
Okay, so what do you think triggered in Moira to be able to shift into the shape of animals?
Probably because she grew up in a forest in the wild
by
and
herself,
constantly being around wild animals and hunting them and
Exposure.
yeah. So
Okay. Alright, so that's a thing that happened. So what I need for all of you to do now, just so that this is going to lay out some stuff in the future, as we go through some of the things that are coming up. We need everybody to make several saving throw rolls that I'm just going to notate your responses now so that I can play them into the scenarios as we go.
Okay.
So I need Dex save from everyone first.
what do you roll 20?
So D20 plus your dexterity save from your character sheet.
That's low.
That's also low.
That's better than mine. 6 total.
6 total.
Is this one?
Yeah.
8.
It'll be under the saving throw, so dexterity.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14.
14. And Pip.
They've got 11.
11. Okay. So everybody needs to make a con save at disadvantage because nobody passed their dex save.
And that's with
D20 and then you add your constitution save. from the
Ooh,
same
that
chart.
18 would be nice.
I
10.
rolled a 17 first.
how about 8?
8?
Yeah, we're gonna die.
13.
Okay.
Literally
14.
killing it.
What if they
14
turn
for
into
Pip?
a
Oh, I thought you said
cockroach?
17.
They're like
That
Oh,
was
wait,
the first
they
one.
do
And
survival
Moira
on.
was
I was 8.
8 for your con save.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Pip was 14.
14.
Okay. And then I'm gonna need 3 wisdom saves for everybody.
So is
3?
is the wisdom save versus
That's better.
magic?
No, but it is, if it matters for anybody, you can count it as a poison or toxin.
Okay.
Just in case
magic
it
is the
in
only
case
thing
it
that-
affects your roll.
11.
No.
11?
Not fire damage?
No.
Just kidding.
14.
Oh, bad. You said 3 of them?
Oh,
Oh, we're supposed to roll 3?
Yep.
And these are wisdom?
Pip got 19, and then 16, and then 5.
Okay.
so
And these are tough. These are tough, so I'm gonna be surprised if any of you pass.
I got a
these.
20 and 11, and so
My highest was 16.
That was on wisdom?
Yeah, but so these are
Give it to
saving
me in the
throws, so
order
you
you
might have
want.
some extra ones. So yeah, for wisdom.
So 26,
So
17.
the first one I thought you said was 11.
Yes,
Okay.
and then there's a 26 and then a 17.
17. Okay. Good.
I rolled mine all at the same time, so I just put them in order.
Put it in order.
So 12, 16, 10.
Okay. Yeah, I have 14 from you, and then 2 more.
11, 14.
11 and 14. Okay. All right.
Are you looking for that mother?
I'm just looking for mugs in general. Don't worry about it.
All right. So
No, I can
that's
find
gonna
that one
be
easy.
interesting.
Goodwill!
Let me
I
figure out
wanted
where
like
to
a
insert
leather
that.
wrapped one or whatever. I want like a
Grand
crop.
Fair tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually want to get a mug from the Run Fair for D&D night. I know.
I'll send you pictures and you can go.
Are
Unless
you
you
going?
come with.
I mean, I'm
He
gonna
might
be
show up
wine
later.
tasting, so I'm not gonna be that jealous.
They have good mead.
Supposed to meet some friends up there. Which they invited me along. And I was like, oh, I work until 1. They're like, oh, we're not going there until 1.
Oh, there you go.
Like, ha-ha!
So, at one point, there will be a musical or a audio thing that is running for details and effects, and I'm actually going to have to pause it for you. Pause the music to go into a slightly different description for you, because
Okay.
you're the only one that passed one of the wisdom saves.
Nice.
So, all right. So, the first thing we have is a scene build to kind of lay out everything for you guys and for our viewers for what transpired at the end of the last session and where we are now. So, at the end of the last session, the Sea's Ire came cascading out of the black mist and ran the shore striker clean through. Just split her clean in half. Things went flying everywhere. Ship going down. Nobody made their dexterity saves or their con saves. So, we are at the Sea's Ire, a massive warship, its hull scorched black, and a thick sheet of forged iron protecting its bow. Upon its deck sits the raised circular dais, where a ring of war chanters now quietly sings an ancient enchantment, the dense black clouds parting before the ship as they do so. Under the masts, with their pitch-black sails topped with flags of the deepest green and silver, several decks down into the body of the Ire, lie 40 prisoners in 40 4x6 cells, each bound in shackles of iron beset with glowing blue stones. One deck above, a crewman throws large chunks of raw, rotting meat through a door. Make it combing. It'll be easier to manage them if they're relaxed. Inside, a large, formless mass moves forward to envelope the meat before settling into position. Back below, a tentacle extends from a small hole in the ceiling of each cell. Slowly but accurately, they search for the face of each prisoner, encasing them from brow to chin. As its toxins leach into your skin, it shocks you awake, giving you a short moment of clarity before your senses go dull, and you plummet into slumber. In that brief moment, you hear 2 voices you do not know. What should we do with the rest? Slip some steel between their ribs and leave them for the beasts of the deep. 40 is plenty enough for leverage. As the toxin takes over, that number rings in your mind. 40. 40. 40. Your mind gives into the sleep, and as you drift off, it comes to you. There were nearly 300 people upon the shore striker.
Damn.
And now... Turn this volume up.
We're in a cutscene for Moira.
You're in a cutscene forever.
Oh, it's for everybody.
Yes.
Yay, I'm conscious.
Enough for a cutscene.
Okay. So here we go. You're 5 years old. Resting in the sun and breeze of a spring day. Languid, you lie with your head in your mother's lap as you float blissfully in a dinghy upon a private lagoon. Clouds drift softly overhead. Calm, relaxed, enjoying the day. Drifting. A faint call from shore. Your father beckoning you. Your mother slowly rose you to dock. Father, smiling, lifts you from the small boat and places you in a carriage for the ride to home. Warm sun beams into the carriage window as you ride. Your path matching that of the shore in the distance. For those of you that can do mental energy, this is for you. I cannot. A sudden cold burst of air billows through the carriage door. For a moment, no longer than a blink, a flash of blue, and your father's face slipping to a gnarly visage of a strange dwarf with a greasy beard and stern cold eyes. Concerned, your father gives you a kiss on the forehead and assures you that everything will be all right. You're 10 years old, relaxing in a meadow, swaying gently in a swing hung from an ancient oak. In Moira, your body begins to fight against the toxins. You come to a little bit. You're not quite sure what's going on. You can't see anything. Your vision is black. Okay. The tentacle, formless mass, whatever, from the beast above is enveloping your face. You're not sure what's going on. You're still a bit hazy as you're just coming out of this. But you can tell that something is not right. You're not so much breathing as being sustained.
Okay.
You feel very, very body tired. Roll a wisdom check.
20?
20 plus your wisdom save from your box.
10.
10.
That's not
Yeah, it's a D12.
Oh, you said 12?
D20.
That-
You rolled a
Oh.
D12. Yeah.
Sorry.
They're roughly the same shape.
Yeah.
Worse.
Is that worth shit?
9.
You can't tell how long it's been or why you feel so body tired.
Mm-hmm.
You just feel very, very body tired. Like you feel like your body hasn't properly rested in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a strength check if you'd like to try to remove the tentacle, whatever this thing is that's covering your face.
Okay.
You also feel a small bit of whatever this mass is down your throat as if it's feeding you something.
Okay. 10.
You do not. And at that point, the toxins take you back over, and you fall back into a sleep. Rising from their spot against the trunk, a friend beckons you to walk with them through the tall grass as the wind makes waves over the hills. You walk through what seems at the same time both a mere couple of minutes and at the same time hours. But it is a calm and relaxing day, walking with a friend. Your friend's face becomes hazy. A tall blade of crabgrass, wheat, perhaps a bee, causes a sharp sting in your back. Sluggishly, you blink your eyes. Your vision is suddenly filled with a steady blue light. You attempt to rub your eyes, but your hands won't budge. Your vision clears. Your hands are bound in shackles, chained in a line that stretches to your feet, similarly bound. Again, a sharp pain in your back as a guard lightly grabs your blade. Onward, you sack of bones! And you find yourselves in a wide open but enclosed cavern. It looks kind of vaguely like that.
So are we on the floor?
You're coming in from
coming
this
out
way,
of that.
walking along the bridge. The layout of the room is as of that,
Gotcha.
And we're coming from that
and you're
way.
coming from over here, yeah.
Okay.
So one side, each of you could hold those up to the cameras. Other way.
Boop.
Just so people can get a rough idea. Okay. And then you guys can inspect those if you like. You are being ushered along these bridges towards this central platform.
Are these like windows or like?
Those are cage doors.
Of course they are.
Above the...
We're in a zoo.
So above the... Set this one down for a second. So they're walking you out to this platform to start. Above each of these tall columns are 3 very large blue stones suspended from beams and iron. The stones, while much larger, very closely resembling the stones that are in your iron shackles that you now find yourselves in.
And when you say large, we're talking like
The size of this room large. Like 15, 20 feet wide all the way around. 10 to 15 feet tall.
Sure.
Various, like, odd shapes, but bound.
What's below us?
Below you, below the bridge, is a very sharp, very long fall to jagged rocks protruding out of water.
All good things.
All good things.
It's a great spot to be.
So they lead you out onto this platform, each of you being followed by 2 guards flanking on each side.
Can we see each other?
You can see each other. You're a little bit spread out, but you are all visible to one another.
There's just the 4 of us in the guards.
Along with around 40, with the other 36, with the other 36 people.
Can we see the princess?
No, you cannot. You can roll perception checks to see if there is anybody that you do recognize around you.
I also want to look for Captain Lorelei, if I can. Which I maybe can.
We'll see what...
Description check.
15.
15. Okay.
11.
13.
12.
12, okay. The rest of you see you recognize each other. You see the first mate.
Okay.
But you do not see the captain here.
Okay.
You do also see Hildebrand.
Okay.
That's the maiden, right?
Who is bawling her eyes out right now.
Sure.
As she realizes what's going on, waking from this toxin-induced hallucination state. You all, as your senses come to from being in this toxic haze, you are all now kind of feeling what Moira felt during her brief reprieve from the toxins. Your bodies ache. It has been a very long time since you have rested properly. Everybody can roll a wisdom save or even a perception check. You can roll both of them if you'd like to see if either one of them will give you some benefit.
You said wisdom or...
Wisdom save
I got
or...
a 19 perception.
Okay.
I got an 18 wisdom save.
Okay.
I got a 15 wisdom save.
Okay.
20 on perception.
Okay. So all of you in
Wisdom
one...
is more, though.
Huh?
Never mind.
It's fine. So all of you, through one means or another, through checking the state of your body, your clothes, the people around you, or just knowing yourself well enough, now realize that while your dream state felt like brief periods of just a couple of minutes or a couple of hours of travel and relaxing, it has been months. You feel like you are nourished. You feel like you are nourished, but not quite by... You can tell that it wasn't normal food that you had. You having a bit more insight from realizing that whatever this thing was that was engulfing your face had was basically feeding you. From our meta, we know that it was being fed like raw and rotting meat. So take from that what you will.
I thought the Wood Elves were bad jail keepers.
Silence. Just walk. Don't make me shove you over the rail.
What does this dude look like?
Big, gruff, like not... It's like a maybe quarter orc kind of fellow. Big, just mean looking, like kind of ratty hair, but he's wearing armor of the greens and silvers. You two can make history checks if you'd like.
Cool kids over here.
Oh, I like.
Oh, yeah, you do like a lot.
Yeah, you like 190, I got 16.
Natural 20.
I think I took all of my papers back upstairs.
That's fine.
Lists of the continents and such.
Please.
A natural 20.
It is... They are the colors of... My brain. Hold on.
They're the colors of Batty McBatterson,
Yeah.
CEO and stakeholder in Bad Incorporated. This is for you guys. You can look at that a little bit.
Thanks.
I was scared of mind flayers for a minute because I watched the Baldur's Gate 3 trailer earlier today. I also really want to play that game.
Why is it not loading? There we go.
They were green, what, silver?
Green and silver. So they are the colors of the nation of Santok, which you know to be the nation that's in the middle of the range above, within the mountains. That kind of like, the most, like, there's not a current war going on, but if there were a war, it would be with these people.
And they don't like they're like the only part of this continent that doesn't like the king, right?
They're the only, well, because each nation has their own kings.
Oh, so this is a separate nation.
Yeah, this
Got
is a separate nation, on that continent that's up to the north.
Okay.
Is that the one we were headed towards?
No.
The one, like, much farther?
You were heading to Juklian,
Right.
which this is the neighbor to Juklian, with the mountains dividing them.
Gotcha.
They're the ones that hold almost no alliances with anybody except the Isle of Light, and they only hold an alliance with the Isle of Light because that's where the main teleportation ring to and from the planet is.
Well, my symbol of Paylor is out because it was out on the boat.
You have nothing.
I have nothing.
You have your clothing.
Cool.
None of your belongings are on you.
Rad. Is my book?
No.
What the actual?
You have none of your possessions on you.
Shit.
All three of you, actually.
I'm sorry.
You don't really notice it so much because you just got your spellcasting ability.
Yeah.
The rest of you feel drained.
Oh, shit.
Like you could not do your magic right now if you wanted to. As you walked down this platform, and as you came in through these doors that were towards the beginning, there were several other guards posted, and a couple of like weapon stands and armor stands with armor just like posted there. And you did not notice any of your belongings. You're not seeing anywhere in this room where your belongings would be. But yeah, you are all ushered to, your whole group is ushered to this ring, which is this one here, this one, and this one. So you are all ushered out from the platform onto these spiral rings, where you are just ushered into the first cells that are available, with the exception of Pip, who is taken to the very top, where there are the only cages that have bars small enough you can't slip through.
Are we anywhere near each other?
Relatively.
Okay.
You're spread out a couple of rooms as it spirals up along this path. But yes, you are all ushered in with two guards behind each of you, and as they get you to the rooms, they remove the shackles from your arms and the shackles from your legs, and push you into the room, shut the door, and lock it unless anyone would like to try to resist.
I don't think I want to.
No. Same my first time in the game.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Okay. They push you into these rooms, lock the doors, and as they do so, the guards just usher themselves away after locking you in. Inside these rooms, the smell of mold, mildew, old blood, piss, scraps of cloth in the, like around on the floors. The floors themselves slightly angled down from the door toward the center
Of
the tower. In the center of each tower, a large circle that goes from the top where the stones are all the way down to the water you can hear lapping down below.
So it's open?
There is a big wall with a gap about yay big at the bottom that runs the span of the cell. At the top of each cell, there are several smaller holes where light from the stones above filters into your cells. It also comes in a bit from the bottom, but they're angled to come in a lot from these holes at the top.
And you said the hole at the bottom runs the whole length of the cell.
The
and
whole
is like
length of the
this tall?
cell and is about yay tall.
And if you look down it, you can
And
see water.
if you get close enough, you can look down and the cells are all kind of lined up with each other, but at different heights and angles as it spirals up. And down below in the water, sharp, jagged rocks protrude. Water just like splashing and lapping about. The floors are slightly slick with grime. And it is at enough of an incline that if you're not careful, if you sleep the wrong way, if you are not careful with your steps, you could slide out of your cell.
If we're all in line, is there like anything coming in from the cell above me or us? Is that like a thing potentially?
No, it's
like, is it connived in such a way that anything that exits the cell above me doesn't flow into my
Like
windows?
fluids?
Yeah, or solids, or
it is slightly protruded, very slightly protruded.
just enough to keep it
from
from.
the wall.
Okay.
From just directly
dripping
past.
Okay.
down the walls.
Yes,
There's nothing that strictly prohibits it from happening.
Noel doesn't want somebody to pee on him.
But
I
The
don't.
top one.
I don't need number ones or number threes coming in my
At
windows.
the very top of them.
But it is, yeah. It happens.
Okay, yeah.
It ain't great.
Yeah, it's not a good condition to find
It's the
yourself.
worst condo I've ever rented.
That's
Cheap
pretty.
Yeah.
though.
So
Yeah, reaching.
these are the conditions in which you find yourselves.
And the guards just left.
They lock you in and they leave.
And that's it in the room.
There's there's scraps of cloth,
Like a pallet kind
couple
of
of
deal.
bones.
Bones.
A couple of small bones,
Oh.
maybe from a meal that somebody had and didn't get thrown all the way away.
Looks like fowl, like chicken or.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to roll a nature check, you can try
Yeah.
to see if you can identify it.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, hopefully I can roll
Sure,
something
the
decent.
land-
It's bad. Where the heck is nature? Oh, well, nature's not really my strong suit anyway.
He's real tired.
It's a 2.
2.
It's a bone!
Yeah, it's a bone. Well, you think it's a bone. You're not entirely sure anymore.
Is that a bone or is it a rock?
Yeah. You're still a little hazy from the toxins.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Is that Dad's bone? Oh no.
And I need to grab the papers that I left upstairs because that's all my random
Real quick.
NPC papers and
In those,
Bring the
in those fever dreams that we were having, did the friend look like anyone in particular?
Ooh, good question.
it's an ambiguous friend. It's a friend that you had from childhood. Thinking back on your dream state,
Yeah.
like if you sit there and think about these dream states that you were in, it wasn't your specific parents.
It was
Yeah.
just
your
like the
specific
feeling
friends.
of our parent. Got
Gotcha,
it.
yeah.
Like
Stupid.
thinking back on it, you can't even recall a specific face from the dream,
Yeah.
other than the greasy bearded dwarf guy, because
Yeah.
that was a real face, and it was all
Yeah.
slightly different for all of you, but telling all of you a different face that you
right.
saw was a little bit weird.
Greasy dwarf.
Greasy dwarf, a greasy human. You'd been already traveling for a couple of months by that point, or for like a month or so at that point.
Okay.
Well, no, a couple of months, because it was a month in from like all of the dream state on the dinghy was the boat making its way to shore.
Sure.
And then getting on the carriages, like when you're on the
Like
carriage,
the
like
tough
these
ones.
different guards that were monitoring you to make sure that
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
still induced in the dream state,
Sure.
kind of thing. Your wisdom saves represented the different points at which the beast had to take its tentacles off to move you from another place, and then
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna grab the papers real quick. Which wine do you want me to
It's in the fridge.
In the fridge?
D&D Beyond.
Dwarven Forge.
He called it. Yeah. Oh, every time. Okay.
Whoa, we're fucked.
Yeah, I mean,
You don't have any of your shit.
nothing but my wits.
Don't seem to be very about you at the moment.
No, they're not. I might be rolling a different D20. That might be more for the forests. I mean, what's that one like? It's still pretty bad.
Stop wasting them.
I'm wasting the bad ones. Using them up. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, viewer, I
If
don't know
you
how
could
many
give
there are.
us some advice about what we should do.
If any of
I
you
wanna check the
spent
gate.
some time behind bars, now's your time to
No.
speak up.
Don't drop the soap.
What soap? It's dirty as hell in here. I'm the cleanest thing in here.
And we don't have magic.
You are so cool.
Right, no magic.
No magic, but I've got the dexterity.
I want to
Can
check
I
the gates. I want to check the gates.
Can I try to just cast like little tiny cantrip light, just like in my hand, just to see if it works?
You can attempt it. Roll a.
Roll for magic.
Roll a. Of course, I grabbed the weird character sheet. What is your cleric? So you're what?
Yeah,
Wisdom based.
Wisdom.
Roll a wisdom save.
That's a 20.
Miss Lady.
Not natural, but
The magic fails, but you don't get a backlash
cool.
from trying. You can feel that if you had not fortified yourself while trying to do that, it would have rebounded on you in some way. But you don't feel the mystical, godly energies from which you normally pull your magic. You feel no connection whatsoever right now.
Okay. So it feels like I'm just disconnected, not like I'm being drained from something, like those
Correct.
lights.
Yeah, well. You can roll an intelligence check or a knowledge arcana.
Sure. I'm good at that. No, I'm not. Oh, that's an 18.
What's that?
You recognize the stones, like having looked at them a bit before you got shoved
Right.
into this cell, and then seeing the big ones up in the sky or up in the top of the cavern. You know that they are stones of anti-magic.
Okay.
Like they will prevent magic from occurring anywhere where their light is present.
Okay. Cool.
So anywhere where the light touches.
How big are these light holes at the top? Like, how many do I have, and like, how big are they?
So your cells, for the majority of you, Pip excluded, your cells are like a 6x6 cell.
Oh,
Not very big
that's
cells.
little.
Yeah. Well, no, more like 8x6 cells. And they are about 7.5 feet tall.
Okay.
The ones that you're all in. And at the very top of that 7.5 feet, there are, I'm going to say it was 6 feet wide. There's an opening every foot.
Okay.
And they're about 5x5 inches.
Circles? Squares?
And they are angled so that the light filters.
What's okay, so they're angled. So 6 feet, 7.5 feet. And the hole's at the very top.
Very top.
Very top. So it's a real long distance between the outer aperture and the hole, or the slot in the bottom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And are there any guards like walking by at any point?
Do
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Yeah,
say
no,
camera.
And I was going to have a
Huh?
backup question.
Camera?
No.
Oh.
I'm trying to think if I made a. I mean, dude.
To make a table was.
Yeah, I made a tabletop audio
Oh,
thing that I forgot to run, but I didn't export it. I just saved it. There's different music that should be playing right now.
yes. I'll have multiple questions when you're back.
I just want to yell at one of the cards.
Oi! Oi! Your mother smells like shite.
Your mother was a hamster.
Yeah, isn't there like someone like ultra examined those your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries and it's like they're actually really insulting? Where it's
I
like
have no idea.
it's somebody like ultra examined them and in like medieval terms there was like terminology or something where it was like referring to someone as a rodent was like incredibly insulting for whatever
So the
reason.
plague, maybe?
Because-
Sister used to call me that.
Because of X, and then it was like, you know, your father smells of elderberries was saying. I think that one was like, your father smells of elderberries as in like, he drank a lot of wine and he's a drunkard.
He's a drunk.
So like, your father's a drunk and your mother's a whore is essentially what it like boiled down to, I think.
Nice.
And it was really insulting. So it makes sense
It's
that
way funnier if it's just random
No, it's
shit.
like,
Yeah.
you smell like
if it's just, you know,
Thank
Arthur
you.
just getting insulted and he's like, charge! I still want to be Patsy for like a con, like go to a
it.
Comic-Con as Patsy and have someone be my King Arthur,
Yeah.
and then just
Do it. I'll be
Yeah.
King Arthur.
be
I'm into it.
Also,
dope.
what's up,
I'm on board.
Polarin?
I'll buy some coconuts.
What's a what?
I said, what's up, Polarin? It's one of our-
Polarin.
It's another streamer. Another woodworker.
Woodwhacker.
So, to answer your question, first about the guards.
Yeah.
If you just sit around keeping track of them, every hour, roughly, a guard walks your spiral from top to bottom. Well, from mid-range to bottom, and a different one from mid-range to top,
Okay.
where
So
it
they like
comes
switch
into
places.
Yes.
How does Pip sell? How is it different from theirs?
Pip cell, your bars are narrower on your gate.
Which is the gate to the walkway on the outside.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Your overall cell size, instead of being the 8x6, just for depth's sake, dimension's sake, it is still 6 feet deep, but it's only about 6 feet wide. So
Okay.
yours is slightly smaller. The height is actually the same, just because construction-wise it's easier. So your holes are way up higher, and your gap is just the same size.
Am I at the very, very top?
So
Like the
you're
very
at
top
you're at
level.
the very top level.
Where, when I look out the bars of my cell, I guess you can tell me if I'm facing rock face or if I'm facing something.
Oh, that's a good question.
So we will find that out.
Because obviously I'm not going to be able to tell if it's anything
I
different between here and here.
right, but I did not specifically pick spots for each of you.
Okay, well,
And
Here we go.
the gates at the front, like that they let us in, are the bars far enough apart that I could like stick my hands through them?
Yes.
and I guess I was kind of spiraling around as we went up. or
Yes.
Could I conceivably tell how many levels up I am?
Potentially.
Potentially?
Potentially.
Okay.
So let's find out where you are first and foremost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And are you doing this for all of us?
yes.
Okay.
This is what I meant. You had a table set up for rolling like a d8.
Yes, actually. Well, I'm rolling because there are 8 levels to each tower.
Yeah.
8 approximate levels to each tower. So for Sawyer, you are on the 6th
Okay.
row, 6th height, so you are 2 below Pip.
Okay. So I'm fairly high up there.
Yeah, and you are 3. You are facing this rock wall.
Okay. Can I see the entrance platform from where I'm at?
If you get your face real up
Okay.
real close to the gate, yeah, you can see
Okay.
that rock face. Calypso.
Yeah.
You are on the 4th, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, they brought you in and just took you up one spiral,
Okay.
facing this tower.
You said the 6th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, I'm assuming, is what they walked us across.
Yes. And they walked you up basically one. Well, so they actually just stuck you in the first room that you came to.
So I'm real close to this.
You're
little
real
bridge.
close to that area, so you can kind of, if you stick your face. Well, I mean, you're kind of around the curve a little bit. You're in this room.
Okay.
So from your gate, you actually can't see that doorway at all.
Okay. But I know it's there.
So
That's
Sawyer,
where they
if
brought me in.
we can do this if we want to. So Sawyer, we're going to say that you are in this one.
Okay.
So if you want to just because that's a weird angle for me. So if you just want to write like an N or something in there, so we know that that's your cell,
Okay. So
and then write a K in there for Calypso.
and Calypso's right here, is what you're saying, or here?
You see?
So this one or this one? This one or
This one.
This one.
Ignore the size disparity. That's just poor drawing.
Okay.
Pip was all the way at the top,
Okay.
and let's find out which direction Pip is facing. He is also facing the same direction as Calypso, so just put him in this one,
Okay.
but at the top. Which there's no
So
real way for you
Calypso's
to do
on
that.
4.
Yes.
4. And then Pip is on the top, which is the 8.
8.
8?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm on 6.
And, well, that doesn't work because that's the short cells, so we'll say 7. So, and Moira is on 7, also facing the same direction, so we'll say that she's in that one.
Okay, you guys are all cool on your little important facing side.
And then I'll give this back to you guys for review and possible
So,
planning
in
purposes.
theory,
7.
Sorry.
Okay.
if I look out my little bottom hole, that's weird. If I look out the little bottom part of my cell and look up, I could see his cell.
Yes, and
Because you
In
were
theory.
on
Because we're on opposite.
Because
they're
we're on opposite sides.
Yeah.
you were
And
on
he's above
4 and
me.
he's on 6. You could see,
Like, I'd have to stick my head out.
yeah, if you wanted to brave doing that,
Sure.
and potentially sliding out,
Sure.
then yes, you could theoretically stick your head out and look up and see the opening from his.
And what's the slant like?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Is
It's
it like
like-
intense?
I was gonna
it's
say, are we
pretty steep.
Are we talking? Okay, so
like if you fell asleep laying sideways, you could
roll.
and like just took a wrong like shift in your sleep, you could roll out.
so we're looking at like a 25-degree angle, like somewhere in
20 to 25 degrees.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Like if you're paying attention and you're being careful, it's not difficult to remain where you are. But if you're being dumb and you're asleep, you could slide right out.
but I'm going to say around an 18% grade.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be very easy to slide out if you just weren't being dumb.
Weren't paying attention.
But if you're paying attention to what you're doing, then you're fine. It's meant to basically keep you awake.
Great.
Because if you fall asleep and you're laying the wrong way, you could...
But if I'm careful and I'm awake, I could, in theory, brace myself against a wall and above that hole.
Against the very grimy,
stick
nasty
my-
wall, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm not there yet, but I just want to make sure that I have an option.
But yes, you could potentially do that.
Cool.
But yeah, so you see a guard pass by on the spirals each hour.
Okay.
You see...
And I was probably the first one into my cell.
You were the
when
first
Right.
one into your cell.
So did she see us
so I
all
don't-
get marched past?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys know where I am, but I have no idea where any of you are.
Well, depending on the line, on your placement in the line.
Considering the floor
yeah.
disparity, I mean, like, Pip might not know where anybody is.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're so far ahead of him in the line.
Yes.
Could I check the gate and rattle it and see what the state of the gates are?
Sure. You can roll a strength check if you'd like. So 20 plus your strength modifier. So 1.
To 11.
It seems really strong and sturdy to you, as far as you can tell.
What kind of locks do they have?
They're built into the frame of the gate. It looks like a very sturdy, solid lock. I'm gonna roll a Pip high or low.
Low.
Okay. You were actually towards the back of the line.
So
You
I
know
all
where
of them
everyone
are.
is.
Okay.
You know the location of everyone else's cells because
Okay,
you
so-
watched them get shoved.
Yeah, so he was kind of like coming along here and
Watch.
saw Calypso go in.
And I know where nobody is.
Yeah, and or saw you in your cells as they took him past all the way up to his cell.
Right. Okay.
Am I still wearing the chain shirt that I bought?
Only your clothing.
It'd be really useful. My crowbar.
Wearing so no leather armor,
Nope.
down to clothing,
Just your clothing.
common clothes.
Common clothes.
Crap.
No antlers.
No antlers.
Okay.
Oh, they took your antlers. It's
They-
on now.
they-
This is fine.
They did.
This is war.
They did leave you
Yeah.
your boots.
My wolf
You
belt.
are wearing your boots.
Do I, oh no. I was like, is this the one where I have special boots?
Oh, I flashed.
I'm getting all my games confused.
I flashed to the other campaigns. You know, it's like she's got boots of Elvenkind right
Oh,
now.
I have sneaky boots. No, I don't.
They do not. You do not have your hat. No.
They found all my knives.
My bald spot is showing. Pip is very,
All of them?
very insecure
All
about
of
his bald spot.
All 13 of them. So many knives.
You don't keep one in like a cavity or something? Come on.
It's a knife that's dangerous. I don't
Maybe
know.
it's in a sheath or something.
Always high.
Very small margin.
Closer to go.
I'm going high. No.
You found them all.
We found them all.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Pip. So Pip is going to carefully and slowly approach the inside of the of his cell, embracing himself at every possible juncture, and then take a peek out
Okay.
and make a perception check for see if there's anything out that I have not noticed yet, and then he's going to call out for his friend. That is an 8.
So yeah, it just looks like a long drop.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're bracing yourself, give me a dexterity save.
Right.
And as you see the half or the gnome come hurtling past your door.
Okay. It was 18 for so long, and now it's a 6.
Okay, you're fine. It's a very low save.
It scared me.
It's a very low.
That was a one.
No, it's a very low save, but
Still my way.
All right.
No! Calypso! And Moira!
echoing down the center column, you hear your names being called out. Below it all,
I'm gonna wait.
you hear soft sobbing sounds
Oh.
coming from one of
Do
the
the guards
cells.
do anything?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I also.
Yeah, I'll get one of these going. Kind of hand up on the wall, and I'll roll.
Oh man.
I can roll for that. Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna roll that die. I'm gonna roll this one.
Second
It's cursed.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. That's a natural 20.
So you
You
find
look good doing it.
you find yourself with a very firm grip
Yeah,
on the edge of the.
been in prisons before.
You can lean way out there and still feel very secure.
Okay. Pip,
Right?
at least you made it in.
Likewise, friend. How's your bed? Is it comfy?
Accommodations are to be expected.
Yeah, there are no beds in here.
Figured.
That was a joke.
I've stayed in better prisons.
I hope the breakfast is nice.
Is to be seen. Did you
This
see?
is a great time for jokes.
No, you made it. Well, that's. I'm guessing the cause or. Emoira?
Caca.
That's a yes.
I'm trying to be sneaky.
I'm gonna.
Roll speak with animals. No.
I can do magic. No, never mind.
Oh, can I turn into things? No, I can't.
Edward.
Part of the magic. Is it Edward?
Nothing.
Who's the first name?
What?
I
How loud did you say that?
Quietly.
Where are we?
Fuck if I know. I'm gonna go over to my little gate and kind of like stick my hands out through the bars and look and just wait for a guard to walk by.
Okay.
So you had questions also, I think. Did we address the questions that you had? Or
Well, my
placement?
questions were the placement, and then I wanted to examine the bars,
Okay.
like how they're housed in the stone and everything, and then if there's anything marking the walls at all, like anywhere.
Inside your room, there
Mhm.
are like scrapes in the wall, like people in prison will do, like
Okay.
marking how long they've been there.
Okay.
Roll a perception check.
It's 23.
Okay. So the bars are like they look like they're very well. Like the frame of the door seems like it is very well set into the stone itself.
Mhm.
Looks very well maintained bars. There's not nearly as much grime on the bars as there is in the cell. Like they maintain them regularly. They keep them oiled fairly well. You find in your cell, tucked up in one of the corners, a dead what looks like a leech. But it's kind of like a grayish blue leech.
Ew.
It's just dead. It's been, you don't know exactly how long it's been there, but it is looking a little bit decrepit.
Like desiccated.
Yeah,
kind of.
desiccated.
Okay.
And, yeah, worn down, but you can tell that it was a leech. The bars of the gate seem very sturdy. Looks like a very solid lock.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that you really notice in yours.
Okay.
And then the scratch marks on the wall. Like slow, like there's a chunk where it's like been scratched in, and they just slowly get shallower and
And it's
shallower.
it's numerals. There's no text anywhere.
No, just
Okay.
scratches.
And you said I had small bones.
A couple of small bones.
A couple of small bones.
Anything and a dead leech.
I'm saying anything small enough that would fit in a lock.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they would fit. Yes, if you took off the nubby
Knuckle.
connector,
Yeah.
then yeah, you could possibly get it into the lock.
Well, I'm probably going to bite off the knuckle of that bone anyway because there's marrow and that's delicious. That's sustenance right there.
He's an old ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Marrow's,
good thing that Calypso cannot see this.
marrow's delicious.
I'll eat my nails
And
first.
can I? Oh, I'd like to wait until the guard has passed,
Just passed.
and then I want to give that a quick crunch. And are there multiple bones? Like, do I have a couple, or do I just have like the one? Two. Okay, that's enough.
And then we'll come back.
Okay,
in just
go
a
ahead.
moment.
Now,
Sounded like you were going to ask or say.
I was just gonna say after visiting with friends, Pep is feeling super anxious all of a sudden, and so to keep himself sane, he is just going to very slowly and methodically just examine every inch of his cell.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check. You're just very slowly taking your time. Go ahead and do it with advantage.
18.
18, very methodically. So there's some scraps of cloth in yours.
Okay.
There are also a couple of bones in your cell. Also 2 of them. Smallish bones. You also find a couple of leeches in your cell. At least it looks like that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
From their kind of desiccated husks that are left over. You find, looking around, up towards the top, you wouldn't be able to reach it, but you can see what looks like a gnomish rune scratched in the wall at the top.
Okay. Is it one that I would recognize or be able to read or
At its
translate?
distance, you can it's hard to see what it is, but you got a pretty good perception check taking your time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's faded and covered over in grime. It's
Also,
not.
importantly, I am a gnome.
Yes, it's not a specific. It's not a specific word or phrase. It's just something that you know that translates into like we're present, we're here, kind of thing. It is more specifically, it is a Tinker Gnome derivative of Gnomish.
Gotcha.
Is there anything that you want to do while Calypso's waiting for the guards to come by?
I guess I'll just take a look around on myself too. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
13.
Okay. You can find a little. You can't tell what it was. Meta, it was another leech, but it's been just like crushed on the ground. Otherwise, your cell is pretty devoid of anything. Some bits of leftover gruel on the floor.
What?
Leftover gruel, like slop food, on the floor.
Oh, good. So they do feed us.
I saw the leeches.
Golf Pro, who's Golf Pro,
Maybe
who I'm
we
going
feed
to
the
assume is
leeches.
your father.
That would be my dad. Yeah.
Says hello.
Hey, Dad. What's up?
How's it
Oh,
going?
it's Dan Doodle.
Doodle.
Doodle Dan.
Doodle
the
sir.
Doodle.
Doodle Senior.
Doodle Senior.
Doodle Senior.
So after from when you finished your initial inspection of the room and you just sit there and stuck your hands out, it's about 20 minutes before a guard comes around.
Okay. And just as he's kind of walking past, I'll just go, excuse me.
Me you want?
Yeah, where the hell are we?
Where are you? You are in the Hidden Sisters.
The Hidden Sisters.
Yes.
That sounds tantalizing. Tell me more.
Well, if you must know, you are here and imprisoned. And
Clearly.
And in the
Thank
morning,
you.
you shall be leeched of any residual magical connections there too.
That doesn't sound like that's going to work for me.
Oh, but it does. After that, you will be tested, inspected, and used for labor, if you're lucky.
Okay.
Cause trouble, fight, resist. And he points off to this platform, which you can kind of see from where you are, where it looks like they've just brought a prisoner out of one of the other towers. You didn't really see them being led over there, so you assume that they came from over here. There is a small council of what looks like guards, maybe a nobleman or two, sat on chairs off to the side. What looks, basically just a raised dais. There's no hangman's noose or anything like that, just a platform where a prisoner stands shackled and bound. And there's something going on. You can roll a perception check to see if you can hear what's being said.
Yeah, I would love to.
Context.
19.
Context.
19. So they're having a conversation that basically is the gist of one guard addressing the people sat in the chairs and the prisoner. This one thought he could tear off his leashes, grind him in his stew, get his powers back. Fought with every guard every chance he got. He will not be useful in the workforce. What say you? And all of the members in the chair glance at each other. The guard walks up to him. Two other guards come in from the side, stand there with their swords drawn, pointed in towards the person. Guard takes off his shackles, no use in waste, steps back, pulls a lever, and the person just plummets through. And then you can see from below the platform that they just drop. Yikes. down to the sharp
I thought
rocks
he was gonna
below.
go this Spartan on the guy.
And since this, I'm assuming, is all on one level,
Yes.
and I'm about on the same. How high up does it look like this whole platform is from the rocks at the bottom? Approximately.
Assume that these cells are the 7.5 foot tall cells. Mm-hmm. And he's fallen all the way down here from this level.
Okay.
So,
It's a pretty bad fall.
a fair distance.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a bit.
That's
Yeah, that's a
And
lot.
it's jagged rock.
Okay,
everywhere.
cool. So taking note of that,
Yeah.
still talking to this guard. You're wearing the colors of Santok? Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Of Santok.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, your only true alliance is with the Isle of Light. Is that correct?
Of sorts.
Because you want access to the glories that come along with that city.
Well, it allows passage to and from the planet.
Yes, it does that. You probably wouldn't know this, because why would you? There are some people there who would not be happy if they knew if I was here right now.
Luckily, they never will.
Yeah, well, they might.
They won't. And if you're thinking of pressing the issue, I can request that you be sentenced right now.
Oh, no. That won't be necessary.
I can assure you of the verdict.
Sure.
Anything else, rodent?
Nope.
And he continues on. Sawyer, you notice that it takes longer for the guard to make his way up than usual.
On this, okay. Pattern's a little off.
Yep.
Okay. Wait until after this guard. The next guard, because I want the pattern to be the right amount of time.
Okay.
Because it'll be less time since this guy was a little slow. I'm gonna break off the knuckles on each one of those bones.
Okay.
So I've got two sharper, shorter implements or whatever.
Okay.
And I wanna work over that lock a little
You're
bit.
gonna try to pick the lock.
I'm gonna try and pick the lock with the bones
All right.
to see if I can.
Okay.
Do you have?
Real quick, sorry. Does the Hidden Sisters mean anything to me?
You can roll a history check.
Okay, I just feel like this is gonna get into some shit, and I wanted to figure this out before you
Yep,
did that.
it could.
16.
You've heard rumors of it. That it is a prison deep within the mountains.
Between Jackliam and Santok?
Within the capital castle. Like, so the mountains, the mountain range, I don't know where my good map went. Between the mountain range of these two mountain ranges, you were going here, you're within this, you assume that you're in the capital city.
Right, okay.
From knowing of the Hidden Sisters. So,
Okay.
this whole spread between the north and south mountains, they have basically, over many thousands of years, built that up to be a large city up in the mountain range, with the castle proper being dead center of that in the most protected area of the mountains. And the Hidden Sisters lies deep down inside that, below the main castle itself.
So from my knowledge, if we were to get out of this structure, we would have access to magic again.
As far as you can tell, yes.
Okay. Cool. Rad.
And from yours, as soon as you were no longer exposed to the light of the stones.
Cool.
You being in one of the more problematic positions, actually. Both of you, actually, all three of you, from the side of the tower that you're on, because your gates face the other two stones.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, sure.
The one non-rolling spellcasters in the convenience spot.
You can assume that was
Well,
accidental.
I have no idea if that means anything really, because my powers have not really
Manifested so much.
No, they're just a thing that exists.
Yep.
I was roughly able to kind of tell where at least these two are positioned based off of them responding and everything, that they were above/below me.
Yes, everybody seems to be. Yeah, you can get the relative positions of everybody.
And
when you were sticking your head out, you were pretty sure as well.
And when guards were passing, were they rotating up and then coming back down?
Yes. So, like, one guard goes all the way up, comes all the way back down, while this guard is going all the way down.
Okay, so they're crossing each other like at the midpoint.
Yes.
And then...
They were.
Shite.
They were.
They were.
But one of them is delayed now because I was talking to him.
Yeah, one of them is
On
now...
his way
he was going up.
Yeah, one of them is now 2 minutes-ish off schedule.
Okay. Alright. Biting off those knuckles real quick and chewing them down, because that's sustenance.
Go ahead and make a very basic strength check for biting those off.
It's...
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. 10. Okay.
Okay,
Alright.
and then are you proficient with
Sleight of hand?
lockpicks?
With thieves' tools?
Yeah, these tools.
No. I have sleight of hand... I'm proficient in dexterity saves. That's
So
kind of my
you can,
thing.
You can use. We'll say you can use sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm gonna try to. It's gonna be an improvised lockpick, so
Sure.
you're gonna roll it at disadvantage.
Okay. Do you want me to roll one at a time, or can I roll two at a time? Just gonna
Dealer's choice.
let the fates. Yeah.
Hey.
Ooh.
That's
That would've been
a 16 and a 25.
All right. So with the 16, you feel like it's possible.
Yeah.
You click like one tumbler, and you kind of get the gist that it would be possible to pick this lock with these bones if you spend some hard time doing it
Okay.
and really get focused on it.
Sure. That's really what I needed.
So what is your passive dexterity save or your passive sleight of hand?
Like what's my bonus,
Yeah.
or it's +6 for my sleight of hand.
Okay. You figure roll an intelligence check.
It's not as well.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's a 19.
Okay.
Nice.
You figure that if you were to be able to focus on this lock without removing them from the pins for about 2 hours, you could probably get it. Easy peasy.
Hours.
Otherwise, you're going to have to spend more time like going back and forth, figuring out the different pin positions to get everything tumbled properly.
So over time, I could cut that time down.
Do it quicker.
Over time, you could cut it down.
Because I can start to remember the
Yes.
first tumbler is this, and
as
then it's...
long as your bones survive the work.
Oh, man.
But yes, you could build the time
Distract.
Okay.
down. Or if you had somehow 2 hours to focus, you could just get it in one go.
Okay. And what's the time between guard? Like, guard going up and then guard coming down? Because I'm above the midpoint, right?
I think I said before that it's about an hour cross time. Is that what I
Yeah, you said
before?
about once every hour somebody
once every
passed in front of
hour.
my
Wow.
Yeah.
passed in front of my
Okay.
cell.
And for you, like where you were before you caused the delay, it was like one guard passed you and then 30 seconds another guard passed the other way. Like
Right, because
going
I'm
on.
about the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So because he's at the very top, in theory, it would be like every hour.
He's only
2 levels up.
2 levels up from you.
I'm not nearly
Oh.
where Pip is, where
So
he
him.
sees someone.
It would be like every hour.
Yes, he
they're
would see.
moving
He would
the
see one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because the route still places one passing your cell
Right.
every hour.
Cool.
It's just a different time in that hour.
Yeah, and I see both of them like one right after the other.
Yes.
Okay.
And you three can see from your positions the same thing happening on the other towers with the other guards.
Okay.
They're a little bit far away. Like this is a pretty big span of distance.
Yeah.
Are the three stones suspended above the towers, are they the only source of light in this cave?
They are.
Okay.
Also, I think I was the only one who did not take a solid few minutes to look around my cell, so I would like to do that at some point as well. 19.
19. Okay. You are also. Okay, yeah, you find there's a couple of leftover bones and some gruel in your cell as well.
Okay.
No leeches in yours. Not that you would know that there were leeches in everybody else's.
Sure, yeah.
But some scraps of cloth. You also notice a weird rune in your cell, but you don't... What languages do you speak?
Common and infernal.
Yeah, you don't know what this rune is, but there's a rune carved up in the stone high on your cell.
And the scraps of cloth, how big and how many?
There's probably looks like it used to be a shirt that somebody at some point just kind of tore up or got folded too many times using as a makeshift pillow or a body wedge to keep them from rolling.
Yeah.
So at this point it's pretty grimy, but it's about a shirt's worth of cloth. It's tattered and torn up.
Well, I want to spend my time between guards.
Okay.
I want to kind of practice. I want to work on that a little bit. At least the part I know, so I can try to cut down on that time.
How long do I think it's been since we got put in these cells?
Since you got put into the cells, It's been, let's say, about 3 hours.
Okay, I also want to, just over the next several hours, see if that guard rotation changes at all.
It does, yes. So, if you're waiting around, you're working on stuff, and then we'll intermingle if there's anything that you guys want to do in here in this time frame. After about 6 hours, there's a shift.
And there's a new guard?
Yeah, the guards that marched you guys in are not the same guards that are walking the shifts.
Okay.
They basically brought you in, locked you in, and left. And it was the guards that were already in this section working the rotation that are marching the order.
But there's no, no extended period of time where there's not a guard other than that hour. When they change guards...
When they do the shift change, there is about a 15-minute gap, roughly, where your guards, you can watch them, they file out to this middle platform. They stand there talking to the new guards that are coming on shift. They leave, and the new guards come up.
So there's an additional 15 minutes in that rotation.
Yeah. And Moira, from where you are, and Pip, from where you are, you can both see that there's a guard that walks this corridor.
Okay.
He just stands here for about 30 minutes, walks out here, walks back, stands there for 30 minutes, walks out. There is a guy that's dressed in fancier clothes and armor that once every 3-ish hours comes out and just stands in the middle to collect reports from all of the other people as they're changing their shifts. He just gets the information. He looks like he's a more important person than everybody else.
Can I see it all? Who is on the opposite side of me, but on the same level?
So your cells
just
are
looking straight out across.
So no, because your cells that goes up on a rotation. So your cells
there's nothing
aren't,
that's directly across.
Yeah, your cells aren't at the same level. They're shifted.
Okay.
You could, from looking at the angle though, you could see up into another cell that's all the way across the gap.
Okay.
Or
potentially down, since it's angled down.
Yeah, because each will... Yeah, so
not down, because...
It's a half pace up or down on the other side.
And down from you would be, remember, your tunnels are slanted.
Yeah.
So theirs is slanted with their wall blocking off visibility.
Think about the doorway
Oh,
being
okay, I see.
think about the doorway being like the distance between the bottom and the top
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
other side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's like the bottom of the cell on the other side is at the top of where your cell is.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you could see into the ones above you if you stick your head out and look up in. But
Yeah,
not
and I
into
just
the
would
ones
like to
below.
make it clear that Calypso, again, still has not gotten to the point where she is, like, on the ground. I'm standing and going like this. Because I am not putting my body on that ground.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
For now.
Yet.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
Okay, so you're working on the locks slowly over time when you can.
Yeah, because I know kind of what that pattern is, so
Okay.
when I know it's getting close, I withdraw and
Okay.
huddle into my corner up at the top.
Okay. Are you two doing anything in your cells?
There's only a leech in my cell. There's no bones.
You can now wild shape into a leech.
I have bones.
A dead one. A crushed one.
Yeah, that's something.
I can leech my way out of there.
Oh, that's what I think I want to do. Okay.
Pep's just going to spend his time at his gate, like sitting down on the ground, legs outside of the gate, arms resting on the gate,
Okay.
just watching, trying to stay sane.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
10.
10. You don't know what it is, but something is kind of begging for your attention. Like there's something, like you're sitting there relaxing, trying not to go insane, looking around the rest of this cavern, and something is just not right with the stonework. Something. It just catches your attention. You don't know what it is, but there's something that's. You think if you could figure out what it is to focus on, that might be something that's important.
Okay.
Your mind occasionally going back to that rune inside your cell.
I
Okay.
would like to take one of the bones
Okay.
and kind of the same thing in between the guards when I know that they're not going to like see or hear it.
Okay.
I want to take one of the bones and just try to like sharpen it on the stone.
Okay.
Like turn it into a shiv.
Oh, you have city girls. Not willing to bite a bone.
Getting shivvy with it.
Making a shiv.
She's trying to make a shiv, not a lockpick.
That is correct.
Okay.
Fight with your hands.
I have a -1 strength modifier.
City girl.
Roll a dexterity save.
Save?
Dexterity check.
Okay.
That's not better.
How quickly can you dodge the bone shard?
Oh, 17.
This is more control.
Yeah.
Manual dexterity control. Okay.
Oops, so sick.
To get it sharp, it's going to take you a little bit,
That's fine.
but you figure you can get it there.
Cool.
Okay.
My thaumaturgy doesn't work in here either, does it?
Nope. No. All magical abilities are suppressed within the light of the stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're just over a period of time.
Yeah. We'll work on that lockpicking time. Try and get a little bit quicker.
Okay. I'm gonna roll.
Relaxing, lockpicking, shiv making.
Okay.
I wouldn't call what Piv is doing as relaxed.
Fair. Trying.
He's not. Yeah.
So that's gonna be. Okay. Start making active sleight of hand rolls.
Like how many? Like, do you just want me to keep rolling?
And, yep, count them off.
Okay, first one is 18.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
23.
Nice.
Okay.
13. 10.
Hold on.
Changing dice. Because that's a hot
Sweating.
that's a hot dice. I can't. You gotta change that up. Okay. That's a 7.
7. Okay.
I want to change dice again.
Okay. So
Okay. Where are my bones gonna break?
that's what I was calculating.
Your
Oh no.
So you figure out the majority of the pins.
Mm-hmm.
And you figure after about another hour of work, you could probably get it open in one deft go with probably a 10-minute window.
Yeah.
However, one of your bones breaks.
Okay. I've at least got that knowledge, though. I know
Yes.
how that plays out.
Yes. You know how
Okay.
the pins go and how the pins function for your door. So if you had another one to make another something to make up the leverage, you could probably get it.
The
No.
where it breaks off, am I able to remove it from the lock? Like, is it like it broke outside
Yeah,
lock?
like it broke in a way where it's not going to.
impede the key?
Yeah, you can get the little. You have to work at it, but you can get the little
Okay.
bits that were in there out of the way.
Okay. Is it like one spur that's left over?
It is like that big of a
Okay,
piece.
but I can see what the end looks like.
Yeah, I mean it's not
Okay.
not usable in any way.
But it's enough
yes.
that I can like kind of, if I get another chance, I can try and like
Recreate.
break it in, like break the next bone in a way to where it's a similar shape, maybe.
It's not. Your work hasn't been so much about shaping the bones as figuring out how to use the bones as a makeshift lock picks because they
Right.
weren't meant for that. To turn the pins in a way that you've been building muscle memory for how
Okay.
the pins are arranged.
Sure. Okay.
So,
That's the important part.
This takes about 8 hours
Okay.
of work.
So that gives me a timeline.
8
it,
hours.
So anything-
I'm not going to say that it's feasible, but it is possible for someone above you and opposite of you in this tower to toss a bone.
How far is it between like here and here?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask what the distance was in the center.
Well, assume that these cells are the dimensions are off from the way that I described them, but assume that these cells are about 6 feet
6
deep.
feet deep.
Actually, switch the orientation of those directions. It's 8 feet deep, 6 feet wide.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
At
what
the
I was-
widest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So, and then the
So-
gap across, so it's probably about a 16-foot gap
at least
from cell to cell.
probably like 25 feet or so.
And,
But you're 2 levels above me.
right.
Okay.
I also don't know that what's
So we might
going on in
eventually
yourself.
get
No, that's like
But just throwing
So, yeah,
that out
that
there.
gives me meta knowledge.
Right.
So
Yeah, so within that 8 hours, about 4 hours in, and 2 additional guards come through, not part of the cycle of guards. And they bring along just like a small, flimsy, like kind of banana leaf style bowl filled with gruel and like little pieces of some sort of meat on a bone. And they just kind of fold the bowl up on itself.
on a bone, you say.
Yeah, they
On
kind
a
of
bone, you say?
they kind of fold the bowl up on itself, being made out of like a banana leaf kind of thing, and just hold it up to the door for you to take.
Okay.
For anybody that's going to take their food.
Pip's definitely taking that.
Yeah,
I'm taking
I
mine.
take.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking mine.
Prison food ain't much, but it's something.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll deign to eat this gruel.
It's not about that.
But it is.
It's the principle of the matter.
I want a hunger strike.
Yeah, so they bring you your food at about 4 hours
demeaning.
more.
Okay.
So you do get an extra bone within
Do
that
I have a
time
shiv
frame.
by then?
I've got
Yes,
an
you
extra
do.
bone.
Yeah.
Alright.
So yeah, you do have an extra.
Okay.
It's a little bit fresher. It's got some meat on it if you want to try to identify it again.
I would like to try and identify that bone. Who's that bone? It's Pikachu. No,
Oh, that's sad.
that's perception?
Nature.
Nature? Oh, well, that's shit. So
Or
8.
survival.
Oh, survival? That's a lot. That's better. It's 12.
It's a rat.
Rat bone. Sounds like the
Rat
name of my
bone.
next rock and roll group.
Right? Rat bone.
Prison
Rat
repo.
How many
My prison gang
other
name.
prisoners
Rat bone.
are held in this whole?
You can't tell exactly. From what you saw, all 40 prisoners were shuffled into the various cells on your tower.
But does it sound busy?
I think that works out right.
So there's 8 on each side. So conceivably from your hole, you could see the ones on the sides and the one across from you. So you could guess 16.
32. So there's only like 32 in your tower. So some of them they did take to the other tower. From where you are looking, because you were this one.
From our hole.
Yeah, where you can see from your hole.
So
From our hole.
you know that there were enough people brought in to completely fill up your tower, with some overflow to the other towers. And you can see a couple of other
No, it's upstairs.
prisoners from where you are in cells, or like hear the noises of them.
I want to make
but
a
then I knew it was going to get warm.
animal call to see if
And you can
anybody
roll,
familiar
because there's
answers
cans of
that.
sour
Because
left too.
Okay, what sort of
It's
a
really
sort
good
of
if
call you gonna make?
recipes for that.
Yeah, I do.
It's the ching.
it's gonna be a crow.
Crow.
The ching ching.
Make
It's literally the
a
name of the beer. It's ching ching sour.
nature check.
In Moira's in
Wine
nature.
first?
That's a 20.
Woo! A natural
1.
20?
Yeah.
Natural
Nice.
20.
Nice.
Oh,
So you make
man.
a very, very convincing crow sound. Like a couple of the guards are like,
Also Calypso.
Where's his burb?
yeah, a couple of
Fuck.
yeah, several of the guards and apparently Calypso are like looking
Actually,
around,
that-
like looking
might-
up at the ceilings,
That
like
might perk my ear up too, since that's kind of nature
Yeah.
stuff.
Only one person would actually know what's up.
Ooh.
If that person is there.
you have to refresh my memory. It's been a month.
Really? The dude that disappeared, my mentor. I'm still looking
Oh,
for him, so I just want to see
gotcha.
maybe he got thrown in
Backstory
jail.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess it flaked.
No,
No.
you don't. I mean, yeah, you mostly just see people being confused by the sound of a crow echoing
Okay.
through a
Sort
through
of
an
a tribe.
enclosed cavern with only one way in, and everyone's like, the fuck?
I'm mid lockpick.
Bone breaks. No.
No! Not my third bone!
But yeah, you mostly just meet confusion. Like, it actually causes like a 30-second to a minute delay as everybody just kind of stops to look around. Like, what the?
Okay. I'll just keep making
Shut
croissants.
the front door.
Yeah.
More like open it, thank you.
So it's taking Noel 8 hours to do his thing with
Okay.
with
Oh, yeah.
some break in there for
What?
for food.
Yeah, I've got time.
You're monitoring the guards. Is there anything else that you're doing in that kind of 8
Make
hours?
shivs.
Making your shiv, making shivs.
Yeah, because there was 2 bones in there, and then I got another one with dinner, so
you're
eventually
making,
I'll have
making
3.
shivs. Okay.
Got your dinner bone now.
Yeah.
You get a bone with your meal as well.
Yeah, so I'll probably try to make a shiv as
I'll
well.
use those
Okay.
as currency later.
So make a
I have the
dexterity check.
shiv bone.
Wait,
D20
That's gonna
plus
cost
your
you 4
dexterity.
shivs.
I want to check something.
I also would like to take those scraps of cloth,
Uh-huh.
and if I can, try to rip them into strips.
18.
Like,
They
thick
rip
one.
very easily.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah. And sorry, what was your
rotten. 18.
18? So yeah, you're able to slowly like make a shiv out of it.
And I also I don't want to fall off the hole though. I really want to try to look out of the hole and see if any of the bricks or stones are kind of like off on like when they're built.
Okay. So first, make a dexterity check.
6.
Okay, you're fine. It's very low. It's a very low save, like for your adventuring folk. If common folk tried it, they would fail. Like commoners, farmers, they would not be able to position themselves. It's very low for you guys. So yeah, you're able to like kind of get your head stuck out there and hold pretty basically secure. So make a perception check to see if you can find what it is that you're looking for.
That's a natural 20.
Natural 20.
Damn, girl.
Yeah, you
24.
do see some places where the stones are not quite even. They could conceivably be scaled.
Because I'm on the 7th floor.
Yeah, they could conceivably be scaled up or down. But you can tell that they are also just slick with mildew and grime, so it would be very hard.
Dangerous.
Even if you could get the placement for the finger grips, it would be slick.
Okay. Cool.
Once Pip notices that something seems weird about the stone, he's just gonna like focus all his attention on that and fixate on it, so that he is not thinking about this plight of him or his friends.
All right, go ahead and roll another perception check for me with advantage.
21.
21. You start to notice that there are sections of the cavern ceiling
Okay.
that were obviously at some point tunneled through
Like from above.
and then repaired to
Interesting.
make it kind of look like it was still the natural cavern.
Okay.
With that, roll a history check.
Does it have anything to do with magic or technology?
Yes.
Then I get advantage because of my rock gnome shit. That was,
Let's see, it looked like
Four.
that was a low one, so.
and that is a natural one. So with advantage, I got 8.
8. Okay. Again, you get that sensation that there's something that you should know.
Something more.
There's something you should know based off of this realization, but you just can't recall what.
Gotcha.
I'm smarter than this.
But you again start to realize that whether even though you can't specifically pick out what it is that you're not remembering, you know that if there's somebody were to carve this cavern out, there's no reason why they would then dig in from the top
Right.
and then repair it. And with your perception check, it looks like familiar stonework.
Okay.
Like it's the work of, as far as you can tell, it's probably the work of gnomes.
Okay.
First names.
And again, you go back to that rune in your cavern inside your cell that translates roughly to "We are here."
There has to be something
It's
around.
very Horton music.
We are here. We are here. We are here.
So those strips of cloth that I was ripping up, I want to kind of try to like tie them together
Okay.
or twist them or braid them or something like that to make something that eventually while I'm sleeping I can like wrap around the bar and then tie to like part of my clothes
Okay.
or clothes so that if I start to roll.
So make just a very basic dex check.
5.
5. You tie some knots. You're not sure how secure they are.
Cool.
Based off of
Makes
how
you feel better.
based off of how frail the
You're not so
well,
sure.
you tie some knots, and you are actually pretty sure that they're tied well.
That'll hold.
Great. That'll hold. That's good enough.
Yeah.
And then eventually, if like, you know, it feels like a full day or something has gone by, eventually I will like get down and kind of and brace myself and try to look out my little.
All right. So that'll probably be a little bit.
Great.
Pip, give me, during this whole time frame, give me 2 more perception checks with advantage based off of your knowledge stuff.
15 and 21.
Okay. You start to notice more places throughout the entirety of the cavern where, whether intentionally or accidental, holes have been breached into the cavern. And they are roughly gnome-sized holes, like a little bit bigger.
Oh, okay.
You know of tinker gnomes that have basically little... Like, you think back to the... What was his name? Gilly?
Gilly. Mm-hmm.
In the bar, who has mechanical like contraption to help him lift up and down. And you recall tales of tinker gnomes, such as your ancestors, who would make devices that 2 or 3 gnomes, just because of the power required, would sit on what amounts to mounted bicycles and would pedal, driving a drill bit, tunneling through rock.
Interesting.
And this looks like it'd probably be about that size.
Okay.
And so you figure that at some point in a couple of different areas, tinker gnomes broke through into these caverns in different locations. With that knowledge from your first roll, your second roll, you start looking around a little bit more, and you notice, like as you're laying there with your hands and your legs outside, and you're just kind of like hanging on, you shift at one point and notice your fingers brush on something on the underside of the bars, the lower rungs of your gate. And it looks like, when you inspect it, it is more gnomish runes.
Well, Pip gets to reading.
About Braille.
And it amounts to speak the ancient words, call our name, and we will assist you.
Okay.
Which
As soon as he reads that, Pip's just gonna start babbling. Pip's good at that. Pip's real good at talking.
I hadn't noticed.
In Gnomish, he's just going to go on and on and on about any sort of ancient tale or any sort of history that he knows about the area and gnomes specifically. He's just going to be reciting words or like phrases. He's going to be talking about stuff.
Are you doing this loudly?
Can we hear him?
Yeah, that's...
How loudly are you saying these things?
Not loudly at first, but if nothing happens in the first couple minutes, he's going to get impatient and will raise his voice.
Okay. Roll me...
I don't know if he's getting served alcohol and I'm not.
Roll me...
You guys try these leeches?
With your determination and this knowledge from the runes, roll me 5 history checks with advantage.
Oh my.
5 history checks.
With advantage.
Alright. 7, 12, and 19. There were 2 natural ones in there.
Well, that was 3 checks.
Oh,
though.
you asked for 5, right?
Yeah.
So I had 7, 12, 19, 13, and 21.
Okay. You, as you're sitting there babbling incoherently, you remember stories that your father figure used to tell you about tinker gnomes that used to live in these mountains that kind of secreted themselves away from the nations as a whole because they didn't like the warring. They just wanted to invent and live their lives in peace and make their ale. You also remember back to the beer that Gilly served you that was from the gnomes in this mountain region. combining all of that information and your previous knowledge, you come up with a story that you think kind of fits the situation here.
Okay.
Where it has kind of, it's like a song built into a story.
Right. Yeah.
And you are able to remember, like after a while, like you stumble through the words a couple of times.
I have nothing but time.
And then you recall the full song. Whether or not you choose to sing it all out loud at this point, you recall, and you wind up recalling all of the words of the song.
About how long have we been here at this point?
That takes you to probably about the 6-hour mark of Noel figuring out all of the pins.
Okay.
Whenever I start to hear him, whenever he gets loud enough to the point that we could hear him, is probably when I would get down and try to stick my head out.
Okay.
And see, like, what the fuck happening?
Okay. A little dexterity check. Dexterity save.
Ooh.
Don't roll a 1.
Dice.
Don't roll the pink one.
That's a 3.
He said it was a low check. And you made it lower.
Okay.
I have my ropes, my fake ropes.
So they're tied to anything yet.
Yeah, they are.
Oh.
They're tied to me and to the bar.
Do you have 8 feet of that?
I don't know.
It was a full shirt that
Or if
got
I
stripped.
I had like my cloak, I would take off my cloak and tie it to that.
So
like I'm trying to fashion myself to these bars.
I want to be safe.
You get down there.
Me.
You get down there. You press yourself to the wall and get a hand on the floor. And you go to lean down and just your hand is on the grime and
it's
mildewy
gross. I don't like
grossness,
it.
and you freak out for a
was a
second,
poor
and your
choice.
hand slips. And you go shooting forward out of this hole in the bottom of this thing,
Bye, guys.
sliding on the grime almost to your waist before the combination of ropes and scraps of thread that you've tied together catch.
Oh fuck.
I'm sure we hear her scream.
Yep. Swear words. So many.
Oh, I noticed that.
Yeah. And you can feel either the cloth tearing or the knots slipping. Like you're laying there, like hanging half out of this, and like you feel your knots and stuff slipping.
And I am reaching back and sticking my hand up on the top and pushing.
Okay, strength check.
Oh my god, the other thing I'm so good at. Okay, that's good. -1, that's a 14.
Okay, you are able to stop yourself and slowly push yourself back in.
Okay.
You did, however, get a real good look straight down.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
at
did.
those jagged rocks below you.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check while you're out there.
All right.
While you're hanging out the hole.
18.
18. You notice that while the water is splashing around in the rocks, it is like there is a flow to it. It does travel.
Which direction?
It is traveling from this cell, like going out this way.
Okay.
There is a flow to it, but it is like it seems like the ring of the tower, and then there's some jagged rocks up in there, and the water's like flowing through like a channel that sweeps through and splashes against these sharp jagged rock, and flows out the other side of the tower, heading this way, which you recall when the body was going down.
It flushes it by.
It kind of like seems like the water is passing that way.
Does it look like it's coming in and hitting this cavern wall and going back out again? Or does it look like it's flowing from this direction to this direction?
Looks like it's flowing through.
Like the underground river or something?
Interesting. Cool.
Is there any way to check if there's a tide type of thing when...
If you wanna, because again it's like 8 hours and several hours of him doing his thing, and you peeked out and stuff. Like if you sit there and like check it every once in a while, you notice that it kind of goes up and down, but it goes from just being able to see the tips of the jagged rocks to being able to see like 3
Big
feet.
chunks.
Big chunks of the. Like, there's never a point where the water is fully above the jagged rocks.
Once Pip has locked down this saga, the song in question, he is going to stand up and slowly pace around his cell, not all the way around, just the outside wall, like back and forth where the gate is.
Okay.
And then
More steps
start
than I would take.
reciting the song, as it were, quietly at first, and then just slowly, just repeating it over and over and over.
How long are you going to sing it quietly before you start singing it loudly?
We'll say it. How long is it? So like
It's like a
3 minutes.
It's like a 3-minute song.
So
Yeah.
he'll sing it through 3 times in its entirety, softly, and then after that, each time he'll slowly increase his voice, and he has no qualms about shouting at the end of it if that's what it takes.
Okay. So you figure out these words that we said about 6 hours in. So you start singing it pretty much right when you figure it out, like when you come to the realization. Okay, so you've almost plummeted, but you have your shivs, your 3 shivs.
That's the Tinker Gnome
You've
song.
you've got your 1 shiv.
I was
And-
hearing hi ho.
That's also a good one.
and you're working your locks. And you are getting close to the point where that 1 bone broke. When you start hearing Pip just belting out this gnomish song. None of you can make out the words.
Can I
unless you
join
speak
in
gnomish.
like whatever it sounds like to me? Can I just join to the
I'm gonna say, is the
song?
melody familiar at all? Like, like-
roll a history check.
history check? Okay. I mean, I know a lot of songs like transpose.
You've been
over.
around for a while.
History?
Yeah.
That's a 10.
No,
It's not good.
you don't really
Can I roll
recognize
one?
it.
After almost falling to my death, I am sitting in the corner as close to the cell door as I possibly can and just going, shut
You don't recognize
Stop
the
singing.
song. You can roll an intelligence check if you would like to try to like copy what he's saying without knowing it.
20.
20? Okay, so yeah, after listening to about 4 or 5 minutes, well, after listening to the second loud run through of it, you've caught enough of it to you don't know what it means, but you can mimic
I feel like it means something.
Right.
So that's why I joined in. I was
But
like,
yeah, you
fuck
don't-
it, I
so
can't
you-
do anything else. I might as well just sing.
Yeah, so you don't know what the words are. Well, you don't know what the words mean, but you can mimic the words well enough to start singing along.
I do speak like 4 other languages.
So now
What
I can
languages
hear
do you
2
speak?
of them.
I don't speak Elvish,
Screaming
but
in
Elven,
Gnomish.
Druidic, Common, and Draconic.
Okay, yeah, no, so.
Yeah.
And I'm now standing and going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, so Pip, after a couple minutes of getting to the loud version of singing your song, you hear a voice that sounds like Moira start singing in with you, and there's a brief moment of, I didn't think she spoke gnome.
Yeah, right. This whole time? She knew everything I said around her? Fuck!
Still likes me.
Awkward.
So after a little bit of this, everyone roll a perception check.
Perception.
I don't trust any of my dice anymore.
Oh, 20 natural.
Damn, Drew.
22.
My
6.
Necromic dice are on fire.
14.
14. Okay, so you actually, probably because of your pacing, you actually don't notice. In Moira, from where you are, you can see up towards the ceiling, up on this way. You see one of those repaired sections of rock, and you see the same thing over this way, just on the wall, almost level with your cell.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there working.
Yeah, you see like a chunk of rock just gets like moved away. Like, and it's dark in there, but like slides off to the side slowly. And you see this little gnomish face looking out, like scanning around the room. And you see the same thing from your side, like a piece of stonework just like gets pulled slowly back. And this little gnomish face is like looking around.
Yeah, I'm kind of working that lock and like staring off in the middle distance, and then
What
Wait,
do you
what?
speak besides?
Just known in common with you.
And they're just like, staring, like they're looking around. They land on you for a second, and they're like, they start looking around some more, not seeing anything. The one above you and Pip, like, is looking around for a while.
Can Pip see him too?
Pip has not noticed yet.
Okay.
They notice you and see you singing, and they're like he kind of scratches his head for a second, and then he's looking around for a little bit more, and he sees Pip pacing back, like, every once in a while, going past the door. And you see his eyes on you, and he's a little confused, and then you see his eyes, like, roam up. He's like...
Did I say anything?
Huh?
Did I say anything?
Did you say anything?
I was like, another little guy! I don't know.
No, I mean, it's up to you if you want to say anything.
Yeah, so I will probably, like, try to go and tell Pip, like, I saw another little guy, like, trying to get your attention.
And at that, the gnome...
And I'm pointing up, so probably he looked, oh no.
And at that, the guy, he startles, puts the thing back, puts the stone back.
Yes, continue singing.
However, a couple of minutes later, you all hear, like, every once in a while you hear the guards, like, they come in and they slam the gate pretty heavily from this walkway over here where they enter in for, like, the shift changes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll come in and you'll hear, like, the big iron gates, like, slam shut, and it kind of echoes through the whole cave.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, stone rumbles a little bit. You hear some, like, rats, like, squeaking and running around in different places. And a little bit later, during one of those shift changes, you hear that sound again, the rumbling with the gate shuts. But there's also a sound kind of mixed in that you didn't really recognize that sounds like stones, like, grinding, like, and moving. And it sounds...
My boys are coming.
It sounds like it's coming from the center. It sounds like it's coming from the middle of your tower.
Our tower?
Yeah.
Maybe they can, like, lift the bottom with their mechanical shenanigans. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, so you hear the sound of grinding stone, and make perception checks. See how much you guys perceive.
I perceived 5.
I perceive 6.
23.
6.
So you all hear this grinding stone sound. You pick up that where before you heard the splashing of the water crashing against the jagged stones, now it just sounds like water running. You don't hear the sound of it splashing against stones anymore.
Okay. Can I peek outside again?
Sure, make another dex check. Dex save.
Don't fail.
Don't fuck this up.
I'm not tied up. It's a 15.
Okay, so you're fine.
Yeah.
So you lean down, you look down, and you do not see... One, you don't see the jagged rocks down below at all.
Is the water level
They're
higher?
apparently gone. It looks like the water level is pretty much the same. But the jagged stones are not there. And what's more is it looks like there's a little bit more of a stone, like, you see before the stonework of the tower was level to or a little bit down from the water. But now you notice that there is on this side and on this side, the stones have actually, not much, but they've pulled up away from the water. Like the stones have shifted up away from the water,
What stones?
or the stones that make up the tower.
Okay.
So it's not so much that the stones have lifted up so much as it looks like maybe stones got pulled down and are making a gap where water is now flowing through the chamber more rapidly and cleanly without splashing around, and you don't see those jagged rock spikes.
Okay.
In this chamber?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it looks like the jagged rocks got pulled out of the way?
Yes.
Yes.
And
So I'll
around this
probably-
time, you click open your lock.
Oh, scheisse.
Oh, shit.
So I'm gonna try to get all
I don't
their
know what's
attentions.
Okay, so
People are yelling and
Alright.
I mean, they know
Yeah,
that I
people
was
are screaming
cawing
and they're annoyed
earlier.
about it.
So I'm gonna start cawing like a crazy bastard.
Oh, God.
But, like, not too...
Is that a good moment for
So yeah,
break?
we can take a quick break right here with the realization of your lock clicking open and the stones shifting away. We will take a short recess, and we will be right back. And a quick thank you to everybody that's hanging out watching. It's a low chat interaction night because we are D&Ding. But on the other hand, you get to see our sweet new BRB screen.
It's a BRB.
Make myself look
I'm gonna
dirty.
start painting myself purple to stream. How about that?
Yeah,
There you go.
We'll get you some
Okay.
tiefling
And
horns
just,
going.
and just wear different colored contacts every
Maybe for
stream.
the
Yes.
last stream we should dress up.
coming
wish.
coming back in
Prescription contacts are so expensive.
Yes.
non-prescription ones, though.
Yeah, but then I have to
Are
wear
also
glasses.
expensive.
Do they make color
can't
changing
see.
contacts?
That's true.
Color changing.
Not color
contacts, no.
changing. No.
Maybe like hollow or
Also,
something like
I
that.
have an astigmatism, so like colored contacts are just not gonna work.
It doesn't work with astigmatism?
They're just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't work. I have astigmatism on both sides.
Yeah. Regular contacts, they make weighted ones. That's what I have.
But not colored.
And what?
I remember wearing colored.
Hi!
She's gonna color herself purple.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
you
And then
came
with
back to.
antlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm old.
Yes.
Problem solved.
Old person makeup.
I can do
We
that.
just can do
I
like
know
crow's feet and wrinkles and put like
Gray's
white-
hair.
We'll wait until
Yeah.
October and then we'll all dress up as our characters.
Oh, we can get like dry shampoo and just like spray it on his hand and it looks like,
Or baby powder.
or baby powder.
Yes. But I also like the idea of dressing up for stream
Yeah.
for Halloween. Just in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just do it in 2 weeks.
Yes.
In 2
Halloween's
weeks.
every month.
Yeah.
You guys can feel free to dress up for stream anytime you like.
Okay.
How about you?
Emma would just be upset.
I mean, what would I
Because she
wear?
wanted to participate.
Whatever. You can be Santa Claus if you want.
We'll have themed stream nights.
Right? It'd be fun.
Theme night.
Yeah, so far, those are the things that have happened. Is the stones have receded
Okay.
from below, the water looks flowy, and your lock has been picked.
Okay. I've picked the lock. It's clicked open. How long ago did a guard pass and what direction was he going?
So you knew that you had the pattern fixed for the lock,
Mm-hmm.
and that it would take you about 10 minutes to pick it.
Yeah.
So I will let you decide when you start from when the guard passes you.
I'd say almost the point where I'd guess that he's around the corner.
Okay, so like right as he's passed you, going up or going down?
Where are you again?
You're close to the top, right?
I think season 6.
Okay, I shouldn't use that one because there's 11 on that side. Okay, so there's 8. So I'm up on 6. There's only 2 rows up, but they cross at 4. So either way, I've only. But you said it's like an hour between guards.
They take their time.
Yeah,
They go by, they're looking in each cell as they go.
Oh, they're actually looking? Bastards.
Okay,
They're actually doing their job.
so either way, I'm at the halfway point, so it doesn't really matter. But if he's headed down, that means the next guy's gonna be coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a little bit of time to go up from where I'm at.
This is true.
Oh, that's a good point.
I am gonna. I'm on 6. You're on 7, and across from me. So
Which would presumably just be like one
rotation.
Yeah.
It's like, whoop!
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
half
So
of
that would put me on 7, where Moira is.
And at this point, and Moira is the only one that knows that the stones have receded and from the water because she's the only one that's looked. You all heard the sound, but she's the only one that's looked
Oh,
so
I'm not
far.
doing anything. I'm out.
Okay. So I'm gonna somewhat stealthily try and. I want to get past these other doors
Make sure you
without.
lock your cell door.
I'm gonna pull it closed, but I'm guessing it doesn't. Does it click? It doesn't. It's just unlocked. Okay. So I'll make sure my door is closed, and I want to rotate up, and I want to skip past. What is it? That's gonna be. There's only one cell in between. Because it's kind of they kind of all on 4s, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
so-
it's kind of more akin to this.
okay.
This isn't drawn completely accurate, but it's more akin to this. As
So I've
far
got
as the
like
spacing.
3 cells in
Well,
between me and Moira.
This was probably the best drawn one as far as the spacing.
Okay, so if Moira is across from me, I have 3 cells in between us on the ring.
Yes.
So when I get to the door of each one, I kind of want to, get across quickly
Okay.
to hopefully not be noticed.
Okay.
Because I don't
Are
know.
you are you trying to move quietly, or just quickly?
Yes.
To all of them.
I guess more quietly,
More quietly. Okay.
with keeping my timing in mind.
In check.
Because I'm 10 minutes down from him rotating, so I have an hour. And if I use 10 minutes, I've only got about 50 minutes left or so
Before he gets
before he gets to my door again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you can make your way up. Make a stealth check.
Ooh, that is a nat 1
Oh!
on stealth.
I don't nat 1 or 20
Okay.
skill checks.
Well, it's a 7 then.
Okay. I'm gonna roll some dice here.
Oh no. Just jump off!
Is that old Billy Bones in that cell? What are you doing?
He's so rickety.
Billy
Old
Bones.
man Noel.
Old-
No, you.
Old
Old man.
no.
No, I thought you were talking about
They
Billy.
can hear your knees cracking from across the way.
Ooh.
So,
It's like the wizard fight in Lord of the Rings. There's just lots of. It's two old guys.
you pass a cell,
Okay.
and there's a... looks like probably one of the crew members from the Shore Striker.
Freak out.
And he sees you and is like, what the? Like, he doesn't say anything very loudly, but he's like confused, and he does see you. And he's like,
Okay.
and about that time, you hear from back here,
Uh-huh.
"Hey!"
Oh no.
echoing through the cavern.
Oh shit, that's because that's over here.
Uh-huh.
Oh crap, I didn't really think about that one, guys.
Well, this is awkward.
How did I get out here?
Oh, am I not supposed to? Oh, I'll go back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Nike.
Do you keep running?
And then you... Boom, 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 boom.
Well,
Alarm bell.
the
Does
jig
the alarm go
is motherfucking up.
I'm looking out my cell door.
Okay.
You see several guards rushing from other towers
Do I see him at all?
to the see Noel. No, he hasn't gotten
because
around
I'm
the
like
corner yet.
I'm like 2 cells down from
Where
here.
are you at?
Conceivably, I'm like here-ish, but I've got another 2 cells.
And then the guard that sits here and roams back and
Yeah,
forth
yeah,
once in a
yeah.
while saw him.
If I do my thing, again, I am not getting down on the ground, but if I do my thing where I stand and lean like this, can I stand?
See Noel?
Yeah.
No.
As soon as Pip hears the alarm, Pip is going to just start screaming at the top of his lungs the same song that he has been.
I'm gonna start screaming jump.
Yeah.
Jump?
Yep. I'm gonna jump.
Fuck.
I'm gonna go whoop!
Fuck.
Leap of faith. Leap of faith.
Okay, I'm gonna continue my rotation, disregarding stealth
Okay.
because the jig is up.
Well, you know there's no one at the top.
Well, I know that these 2 are up from me.
Yeah. He's abandoning me.
You're you're literally beneath me at this moment.
Ow!
So
Wow.
you three
Okay.
from inside your cells make perception checks.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Me?
That's
Did you take a little break,
well,
Dice?
16.
Realign yourself? No,
And
not
12.
really. 13?
And Moira, you've been kind of mostly paying attention to the center anyway. Mm-hmm. You see, like something catches your eye, like moving upwards outside of your cell.
Wait, what?
In the center of the
Yeah.
of the column, you're trying to figure out what's going on with all these guards and the yelling, and then do you run past her cell?
I'm running to her cell.
To her cell, okay. So right as he comes to your cell, like a noise catches your ear behind you in the center of the column, and you kind of glance real fast before Noel gets to your cell. You can't tell what it is, but there's something like you saw some sort of upward movement
Is it the platform?
in the center.
Do I see it when I'm standing and looking?
I'm sorry, you said you're looking. You're
Yeah,
looking.
she's
You're
looking
looking
out.
through.
I'm not on the ground, but I'm standing.
You see, like, a very long metal pole slowly moving straight upwards
Like in the
From
middle?
the center?
from the center.
How thick is the pole? Okay.
About yay big.
And we said it's what, like 16 feet across this?
Yep.
So,
So
it's like
it's-
8 feet away from me, because it's coming out the middle. Oh, fuck.
You got that.
Yeah, okay.
It has not made its way all the way up to the top yet. at
Is
this point.
it sleek or does it have a spiral?
It looks like it is sleek.
So it's like a 5-minute pole situation.
You get to Moira's door.
Okay. I think it's time we check out of this hotel.
Yes, there is no rocks anymore. I want to jump.
Okay, I'm gonna lean. Can I lean over the?
You still
the
see
walkway?
jagged rocks outside.
It's in the center. It's in the center of the cells. The rocks in the center are gone, and there's a pole now in the middle coming up.
Do you want to jump? I mean, because if I was to try this lock,
Go back to your cell.
You don't know.
I don't know.
You hear, you see from where you are, guards have kind of amassed here and are getting ready to start running onto the platform.
I saw a little dude, like Pip, in the ceiling, and he popped out.
What does that have to do with the rocks?
I think they're doing something.
You hear her it doesn't seem like they're making any attempt to be quiet. So you hear pole middle. You're able to catch those words.
Right, sorry. So you want to jump?
I kind of want to.
About that time, you hear a from the center. And then you hear a slow, mechanical gear sound that you're very familiar with working with tinkery things.
So Pip will rush to the other side and peek out, look to the center.
So you see this pole that
That's my
Moira
dexterity check.
and Calypso had seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It has risen to the middle and locked in place, and now it is spiraling slowly around the inside of the cavern.
Oh, God.
It is the pole is stationary, just slowly,
Yeah.
it moves out towards the edge, and is slowly going around the interior.
Like for people to grab on and slide down? Oh, God.
I'm
Is it,
totally
is-
taking it.
As soon as Pip sees that, he just starts shouting, "Go! Go! Go! Everybody now! Jump! Use the pole!" And then he's just gonna wait until it gets closest to him, and then he will slide, take a few steps and slide
Like a
out
sick-
underneath, and then reach
Batman
out and try to
slide.
grab the thing.
Okay. It's moving slow enough that you figure if you just wait for it, you can just slide out to it and grab it.
Okay.
It is only this far away from the platform
Big.
now that it's clicked out in place. So you can do a cool maneuver if you want.
I mean, I definitely need to get onto the pole ASAP. That's
So yeah, so you
worried about.
you get yourself onto the pole, and it is there's not really any roughness to it, but it's like a steel rod. If you grasp onto it and
There's
you've got some
texture.
strength, you can hold onto it, or you can kind of let yourself slide.
Okay, Pips.
But it is a long way down.
Luckily, Pips doesn't weigh very much. He's just gonna do one of these, put the pole in the crook of his elbow, and then slowly slide down and just keep screaming, "Everybody, come on, let's go! It's time to go now on the pole right now. Let's go!"
I'm gonna tell you go all the way to the top and grab the pole. I mean, unless the guards haven't made it to his cell.
This has all been
Seconds.
15 seconds maybe.
Okay.
The guards are just starting to rush the platform.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go back to my cell.
Go back to your cell
Okay,
and grab
fine.
the pole. Cool.
I'm gonna hustle back to my cell.
So I'm gonna wait for the pole to go.
You see guards rushing past you, all headed towards the up ramp.
Calypso, grab the pole!
Let's go!
Grab the pole!
Slide down.
In the
Do I
center.
see anyone sliding down the pole past me?
I mean, if you sit there and wait a minute, yeah, you suddenly see a Pip just.
She's gonna probably see me holding on to the wall on one arm and
God.
trying to wait for the thing to just grab on and
Oh god.
Yeah, so
Oh god.
wait
Pip-
for it to take me.
Pip is going past just a moment before the pole gets to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna slide right through that hole onto that pole, and
Grab the pole.
I'm gonna Yo, Calypso, get your fancy ass out the hole!
Okay. Okay, so this is exactly how this happens, is that Calypso sits down on the ground and scoots herself with her arms up like this all the way to catch herself on the outside of the wall and then waits for the pole to come and like wraps her legs around it and then just slides out without looking down.
Just lets the pole
Nothing.
pull her out.
Yep.
The pole does all the work.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Mid-panic attack the whole time.
Okay. Everybody give me a single strength check.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
Or athletics or acrobatics.
I'm going to take acrobatics on that one.
Yeah, you can give me either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Oh, that's a natural 20!
Okay.
It's a 14.
With strength, I'm gonna go with acrobatics 4, so that's 9!
Well, so you don't do...
My maneuver worked.
Oh, you rolled a 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Your
I got 11.
sweet leg maneuver there.
I know there's no rocks there anymore. I can let go.
So, well, it's still a long way down. So, you got a what, Pip?
11.
Okay, so you're
Working
sliding
the pole
down.
must be in Calypso's
You're going.
jeans.
Again, the whole way down.
Literally in her
Pip is
jeans.
screaming for everyone,
She's
not
wearing
just
jeans.
not just the adventuring party. Everyone.
She's an
Grab the
adventurous
pole.
woman. I don't know
Everyone
what you
go.
wear.
Okay. So you go sliding down past Moira. And Moira reaches out, grabs the pole, tries to get a grip, and starts like rapidly just like sliding down the pole. She can't quite get a grip. About that time, Calypso leg wraps the pole, grabs on tight,
visual.
Yeah,
and
she does.
here comes in Moira, like scuttling down right above you.
Whoa!
Your grip is strong enough that you stop her from sliding all the way down.
Well, you're welcome.
Forever in your debt.
You got a what again?
14.
14. Okay, so you slide back into your cell, go out through the hole at the bottom, grab onto this pole,
Yeah,
and
that's a cool guy slide. Like,
yeah, and like
Yep.
and down the pole. You, timing wise, end up above Moira, who is basically riding Calypso now.
On my shoulders.
How should you bow out?
Pip, as you hit the water, you see what looks like a crewman from the ship, like finagle his way out of his cave, out of his cell very awkwardly, grab onto the pole, and starts like riding it down.
Excellent. Good.
You splash into the water, and the current is strong. Are you gonna try to hold on to the pole? You're gonna let go? Like, it doesn't seem like there's anything pulling you further down.
Pip will hold on to the pole just long enough to look up and ensure that more people are on the way, especially.
Yeah, you
his
see
friends.
all of these people, and then you see one other person.
Well, all right, that's all he can do. He's
have one
at that
side.
point he's gonna let go and then
No.
just
They're both over here.
like swim along
I kind of have that.
with the current. Yeah.
All right, so the current pulls you through, starts sliding you, just carries you out from your cell, and it seems to like it just flows this way, and it takes you through this other tower before wrapping, like the way the current goes,
Okay.
and so it pulls you through, and it just starts guiding you. So make me one
We don't have any of our stuff.
athletics check.
9.
9. Okay, you're able to keep from drowning,
That's
but you're
good.
not swimming.
Okay.
You were just being
As long as I'm not drowning.
You were
it's
just
fine.
Carried away.
you were just being pulled by the current,
tumbling around in the water. Yeah.
gasping for air periodically.
Okay.
You guys get to the bottom. You first. With Moira pretty much on your shoulders.
And I
And-
see Pip.
Pip is you see Pip like get to the bottom. He waits there for a minute and then he lets go and just gets swept away.
What happens if I just hold on to the pole? Nothing?
Seemingly nothing.
Might break your neck.
Fuck. And I'll let go.
Okay, athletics check.
Sure.
I'm letting go too.
Oh, that's actually not bad. Athletics? -1. That's a 16.
16. Okay. You are able to control your flow and swim pretty well. If you try, you could probably actually catch up to Pip.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay. What are you gonna do when you catch up to Pip? Like just kind of try to
Stabilize him. Yeah, and mostly just make sure that, like, A, he's breathing, and B, that we're together.
Okay. Make another athletics check with advantage.
18.
Okay. So she rights you from this very quick current, and you're able to kind of like get your own bearing and stay close to her and swim along. And Moira, you see Pip.
Oh, I'm letting go.
Okay. Athletics check.
No questions.
That's 21?
Damn. Yeah. You're just
20.
20. Yeah. You're
Shit, girl.
paddling. Are you just trying to like swim gracefully? Or are you trying to catch up to these two?
I'm probably trying to get us away as fast as I can.
Okay.
I know he's coming. So I know he's.
First things first.
What's old man Noel?
You get towards the bottom, and the crewman that was coming down above you, like, you get to like here, and he's here, and he just hoops and dives into the water once he's close enough.
He went for it.
Yeah, like once he gets close enough that he figures it's like a dive from the ship, he's just gonna like hop away from the water and just dive, and just goes off with the current.
You know, I've swam in some pools
Like a
in the woods. I can lift off some rocks. I've done that before. Been around the block. I can do that.
He's seen 3 other people just swim away, so he was just
You're
like, I'm
very
fucking
old.
going for it.
No, I'm not very old.
You're not young.
I'm well aged.
Like a fine
He's
wine.
mature.
You know, I think I'll follow that example.
Okay.
Control my
Athletics
entrance. Athletics. That's not that great, but you better remember acrobatics. Oh, that was so good.
Tumble.
822. And 13.
13, so yeah, you're able to control your swim.
Right.
You're not going as quickly as they are, like as far, because like they're paddling their way forward, but you're not getting tossed around it.
Yeah.
Controlled swim.
Okay.
But yeah, your old man bones are not quite up to the swim as everybody else
You
is.
said it, it's canon. You have old man bones.
I have old man bones.
I think that after hearing him yell, you know, Calypso, get your fancy ass out here, or whatever you said, I would probably be like looking back to make sure that he actually did like make it
So yeah, like
off the pole.
a moment later, like
I
you
want to kick your ass.
guys, you 3 carry the current, like the current carries you through here, and you round out and it starts carrying you this way to meet up with the current that goes under this platform. And you round out here and you get to about the almost under the platform without seeing Noel. Like you see the crewman who you knew was above Noel
Yeah.
swim out. And then a moment later, Noel like rounds the curve of the current.
But you're
Dramatic
still
pause.
alive!
Yeah.
There he is.
If it were a TV show, it would be one of those.
And commercial break.
Comes from the corner.
And you can all make perception checks if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, natural 20.
It's like the 4th natural 20 you rolled.
Perception
today.
I'm
checks?
on fire
16.
today. It's this die.
Noel is encapsulating the bitch I survived meme, where it's the old guy in the hospital bed.
9.
Okay, so you're focused on making sure that Pip is not getting
And thank you for that.
tumbled by the current.
Looking out for the little guy.
The rest of you notice the guards still swarming this tower. It doesn't look like anybody's noticed the group of you swimming away yet.
Oh, rad.
R.I.P. all those other prisoners.
And from your position here, you see the stones here just like lock back up into place.
Conveniently out of the way while we were swimming.
So it looks like whatever the normal current interruption is.
I don't want to hear y'all ever badmouth the gnomes.
Hildebrim didn't make it.
We didn't see
So
Hildebrim.
good.
We don't know where the fuck Eleonora is.
I mean, she's zapped away, so
We failed immediately.
the king doesn't
It's
know
been
that.
months.
The king
Well,
doesn't know that.
Not immediately. Like we did.
Pretty much immediately.
We thwarted the mugging.
for a day.
For all
Me
we
and
know, she
Pip
could be
did our
behind
job.
this
We
rescue.
we
She
did.
could
we
be
did.
rescuing us.
But we
That's
did.
true.
And we got like a platinum out of it.
All right, so
true.
we are on the river.
Fill this up with gardenia.
On the river. What?
Can you fill this up with mostly pretzels?
Why don't
Mostly pretzels.
Because you guys were all eating it. I didn't want to take it away.
you
Yeah.
ask politely?
So the current is carrying you through, and it takes you through like
Rapidly.
Huh?
Rapidly.
Yes, rapidly. It carries you through.
You're so proud of yourself.
I told you there'd be dad humor because you had to make dad jokes before the stream.
So yes, it carries you through and around this curve, and you see before you 2 forks in the water. There's a current where the larger current of water that goes through what looks like a well-worn, over time, worn down path that the water has made through the stonework. And then to the right of that, there is a not nearly as worn passage with, you notice, some gnomish rune, like small gnomish runes around the border of it. That is open as well, and water is flowing through that. And it looks like it has not seen nearly as much wear as the other one.
Gotcha. Is it feasible
Pip?
for Pip to be able to read
Yeah.
what those runes say without, like, committing to that path?
At the speed that you're moving, not really.
Right! We're going right!
Okay,
We're going right!
Okay. At this point, you all have
Just hope it doesn't say, danger, do not enter.
Yeah, right.
Dragon ahead.
as you're passing through, you get a better look. Death's End.
Where are
Don't
you
enter
going?
here unless level 10.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! No. But yeah. No, so you guys are all able to. You have high enough checks on your athletics that you can, if you'd like to, you can all divert yourself to the right path.
Yeah,
trust
that's
the
goal.
Okay.
Is Sailor Boy coming with us?
The crewman looks at the. You guys don't really see because you're all ahead of the crewman.
Sure.
You see him like. You see the crewman kind of like give himself a backstroke kind of thing, like hold himself in place as much as he can as the current goes. Kind of like deliberating, and he sees this less worn path, and it's not jagged, but it's definitely more rough on the inside. And he's looking at it, and he sees those 3 go through, and then you see his head look back over the more well-worn path, and he swims over that.
This is a
course
very
he did.
Robert Frost dilemma that he's having here.
Meta, he's like, well, that one's more worn, it probably goes out somewhere, like a major ravine.
Sure, sure.
No chance
took the-
to
we took the road
impart
less
my
traveled.
elderly wisdom upon him.
Nope, he just,
Nope.
he
Oh my
makes his
God, you
decision.
Robert Frost.
You're a fucking idiot.
He makes his decision, and he commits
Goes
and
for
goes.
Take the road less traveled. That's straight Robert Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like
What's
9
Noel
people
doing?
who have read the rest of that book.
Anyway, huh?
What's Noel doing?
Noel is going with everybody else. He's not going to leave his group behind.
Okay.
Safety in numbers, son.
make
That's
it-
what he would have yelled at everybody.
Make a perception check.
Perception. Oh, that's 15 there.
As you're getting ready to go through the path on the right,
Flashes.
you take like one more look around,
Huh?
and you see like one of the holes in the ceiling
Uh-huh.
like open up, and there's a gnome up there, and he's just like, right as you're getting ready to go through, and he does like a wave and puts his rock back. You pass through, and then a stone like rolls back in place.
Oh, shit. It's the
Got rescued by
gnomish
some
resistance. Here we go. We're part of the gnomish underground. Literally.
I'm
Underground. Okay, yeah. So it's is this like a lazy river kind of ride?
Yeah,
or-
so at this point, the current slows way down.
Okay.
It's driven mostly by that stone went back into place, and so now there's just like an undercurrent.
Is this fresh water?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, there's like a current that's just traveling like underneath the stone just by the fact that the water is passing that way. So yeah, it kind of becomes more like of a slow flow of the water.
Chrysanthemum in summer.
Yeah. And it just floats you through for a while, and then you eventually come to a bigger, slightly not as big as that cavern, but a bigger open kind of cavern room where there's like the water continues through the middle, but there's kind of like a rock beach, so to speak, to each side.
Yeah, climbing up on that.
And there are a couple of gnomes just like hanging out there waiting.
Yeah, climbing up out of that water and
Yeah.
looking around at everybody else and
Cool.
done some wet work in my day, but this is ridiculous.
That sucked.
And they look around at all of you. And in Gnomish, your friends are gonna have to duck.
What?
Huh?
He said that you guys are all look very healthy, and
You're lying.
yes,
and so
I
are
am.
they.
What did I
Let's
say?
go. It's fine. Just follow us.
We need to get our stuff.
We gotta get a lot of things, and one of those things is the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I am. I'm with him. I'm not going back in there.
With that.
I mean,
Okay, I'm
unless
following
you would rather hang out and go
No, I'm
back.
following
All right.
you.
No, we're all
Okay,
going
okay,
with you.
all
Let's
right.
go, Pip.
All right, so they lead you over to another like stone door, like they just and like two gnomes gonna like pull the stonework back, and what looked like a normal crack from the outside, like is it just a jagged framed door, and Pip, you're able to just like walk right in. The rest of you are a little bit taller.
We're John
Kidding me.
Malkoviching our way through this tunnel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Good
Um,
deal.
It's like 4.5 feet tall.
Yeah, straight up
You
John
can crawl.
Malkovich.
Yeah.
How about it?
Because
Yeah.
I'm like, what, 6?
It's very cozy in here, don't you guys think? Oh,
Literally, like,
For
Just
once,
like headbutt you from behind.
for once, Pip is the only one in his comfort zone.
that's right.
good old pimp. We're in the pimp zone. Is what you're
Just
saying.
walking down the hallway like this.
So they're not really saying much as they're guiding you down the hallway, or any of you saying anything. Pip,
I'm holding on to my shiv. I still have it, right?
you what?
My shiv? The bone?
Yes.
Oh, I still have all 3 of mine.
Nah.
I'll have one.
I say
I'll
lockpicks went in my
whisper
pocket, so I got my
while
own
we're
picks.
Okay.
Do you know these people?
No.
Okay.
So, hey guys, so, thanks for that. Where are we going? What's your name? My name's Pip. These are my friends. We're not from around here. Sorry, I'm nervous. What's your name?
What the fuck did you just say?
I'm Jesper,
Jesper?
Are they speaking in gnome?
and that's Lorgan. Yes.
Jesper and Lorgan, you guys are doing a great thing rescuing us from out of there. What is this place? How do you, I have many questions, and also I'm really thirsty.
You swim in on fresh water.
I need some ale.
Oh yes, well, plenty of that one in a little bit. Well, let's get you where we're going first.
Okay.
What?
That's Jesper and that's Lorgan, and they're taking us to a bar.
What? There are bars underground?
Just, you think dwarves are sober?
It's just funny, sorry.
As much as I'm usually up for drinking, I feel like there are more pressing matters.
Well,
This moment.
we were
I
really
would
at their
drink
mercy
ale.
right now.
And I would just like to point
I
out
would
that
drink
this is coming
gnome
from
ale
me.
right now.
Not him. Me.
I would drink gnome ale right now.
Right, she's being responsible right now, so this is very out of character.
To answer your other questions, we're not... I wouldn't say that we're a resistance, but a few of our brothers and sisters have ended up in those cells before, so we found ways to get them out. You're not really of our clan. He kind of looks over, like, past you at the three tall ones slumped up against the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
But you knew our words, so figured we'd open the pathway for you.
Well, it goes without saying that we will repay you in any way feasible. Obviously, we're kind of ill-prepared at the moment.
Yeah, you don't seem to have anything.
Well, we were in jail, as you saw.
Yeah.
Can you ask him if he knows where all of our stuff is?
No.
We do, though.
Do they
Did he
understand
say that in
coming?
Gnomish?
He said it, no. Yeah.
So he understands coming.
Yes.
Asshole.
Don't worry, I think they're gonna take care of us.
Okay.
So they lead you through these
I
caverns
mean, they already did, but...
for a while.
Right.
It's about half an hour of just winding through different cave systems, and every once in a while you come to an area where it's like a bit bigger and domed, and you guys get a chance to like stand up and stretch your backs for a second before they lead you into another short cave. You can roll... I'll let you use Arcana or History.
All of us?
I'll do it.
Specifically. Related to technology.
My back
Yo,
pops
I
5
get-
times.
Advantage. 15.
Oh, I feel like
So
you
you-
should have rolled like a d12.
You recognize
Nope, it's a D6 because I'm not
the
that.
domed cavern areas where they do the interchanges as probably the locations where they like turn around their little tunneling machines
okay,
and stuff
that
like
makes
that.
sense.
So,
Sure.
but yeah, it's about half an hour. They lead you through. They take you like up several different ramps of stone and things along those lines before they bring you out into a large open kind of almost not a throne room, but a large open hall. And it is a bit taller. You guys you're not able to stand all the way up, but it would be like... No, you're probably able to stand all the way up, but it would be like when you're standing in a cathedral as a human, how tall it is, but for gnomes. So it's probably only like 10 feet tall.
Right.
But you guys are all able to stand up finally all the way. There's some pillars, a couple of tables scattered around, and you see some doors off to the various sides. They lead you through and take you to a secondary room, and they just offer to let you sit down and have a real meal and some drinks while they figure some stuff out.
Well, I partake. Pip wastes no time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You guys are very generous. And he starts eating.
Alright, well, we'll be back with some news soon.
Did he say that in common?
Food.
No.
Okay.
He says they'll be back with some news soon.
And,
Being a translator is exhausting.
and they shut the door,
Interpreter.
and you all hear a click.
We
So
hear
it's
a
just
click,
us in the room now?
Yes.
and we
And
hear a
we're
click.
also potentially locked in.
Did he just lock us in?
Well, I don't know. There was a click. I'm inclined to trust these guys, though.
Can I
You
go try
are?
the door?
It's locked.
Probably for their protection,
At
to
least
be
there's
honest.
food in this room.
I'm not... You guys just need to calm down.
Can I try to cast light now?
Works.
You have magic?
Yeah. I think it had something to do with those big blue rocks.
The blue rocks? Yeah.
Moira turns into a leech. Tiny leech.
That was not great.
I don't know. I've had longer stints in a cell. That was pretty quick.
I don't care.
Was this the worst one you've been in?
I mean,
I was literally gonna try to climb up the inner wall. I was looking into it.
Been rough. Would have been rough. Well, we're out. And into another room that we're locked in.
But there's food in here, so
So-
excuse me while I take a bite or two.
There's food. The
Is there
floors are
food?
level.
I'm gonna say, are there like pallets or anything laid out?
Alcohol. There's tables.
There's tables?
There's
I'm
like
gonna
a
get up and just kind
table.
of like walk around.
All of the chairs are gnome sized.
Well, I mean,
there's
like,
a table.
but there's no like sleeping accommodations. Like it's
No.
like okay,
It's like a
holding room.
meeting room.
okay.
It's like a big as far as gnomes are concerned, it's like a conference table.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to find a piece of bread, slap some cheese on it, grab whatever, I don't know if there's any sacks of something, and just kind of like lay on the floor. And, like,
It's
eat my
mostly like
sandwich.
fruits and nuts and cheeses, some meats.
What?
All of the ale is the ale that Gilly told you about. It's the ale that you can
And I'll be drinking some of that.
drink. It gets you really drunk for a short period of time, and then it's gone.
Sorry, I'm picturing in Moira like crashing out on like multiple gnomish chairs like lined up, like the terminal
sure.
style. Like,
I've literally done that.
yeah. It's airport chair styles.
Yep.
It's hanging out.
Wait, we
Yeah,
did that on
I'm,
a honeymoon.
Yes, we did.
I'm like just walking around the room, just like pacing, looking at stuff.
Okay.
Not eating,
There's
not drinking.
There's some gnomish artwork up in here, just like basic paintings of people.
Yeah, I'm not like looking for anything specific. I'm just.
But no, just like it
Amazing.
is not decorated in the manner of a cell. It looks like it's a meeting room.
Cool.
And so yeah, guys, who all is eating and drinking?
Pip's
I'm gonna eat.
Pip is eating like he was been in jail
I'm
for
eating for
like,
sure.
8
Days
hours.
years.
instead of hours.
Yeah.
When I'm just drinking enough to take the edge off, I'm not over drinking or anything.
Those of you that are eating the food, it is noticeable. Like once it hits your stomach, it really makes you realize how long you went without normal food while you were being fed by whatever that
Yeah.
beast was. And then you had just the 1 day's worth of gruel and rat meat that they gave you. Does Noel tell everybody that it was rat meat, or do you let Calypso
He probably
live
forgot
without
about
that
it.
knowledge?
He's gonna keep that to himself. For
You
now.
should eat something.
I'm just walking.
You should eat something. It's gonna make you feel so much better.
I don't think it will.
It will.
You know what would make me feel better? If we could leave this room and go get our stuff back.
Just
I don't
eat
think
something.
we're
Why-
gonna,
One
I don't think
step
we're
at
getting
a
our
time.
stuff
Just
back
eat
from these
something.
people.
Why are you so obsessed with your things? They're just things.
Yeah, well, there is one particular thing that is a little bit more than that, and I need it back.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get it, but I feel like we're all just glossing over the fact that we were, like, forced to hallucinate for a long time. How long has it been?
I have no idea what
A long
day it
time,
is.
I think.
We so did not finish that contract.
I have not been able to look
King
at
is
this
gonna
guy,
be
so
pissed.
yeah, we are definitely fired.
I mean, he said there were no consequences if he failed.
Well, depending on how
Well,
long
of course
we've
he
been
would say that. Also, that everyone on that ship. Why did anyone else jump on the hull with us? Why would
if
I
they-
just don't get it?
I don't know.
Some people might have been
Skeptical.
or a little broken inside.
Hilliger didn't sound good.
Come in.
Hello.
Hello. It's Morgan. Eleanor, we'll see you now.
Eleanor?
Eleanor.
Eleanor. Do I know that name? Okay.
What's going on?
Somebody's ready to see us.
Somebody?
Eleanor.
Does that mean anything to you?
I'm gonna stuff
No.
some bread and stuff in my pockets. I'm gonna force feed her.
Some dirty pockets.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
You've been wearing those clothes for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. You notice that
You don't have your flatfish anymore.
That's okay.
as you
Oh no, the true loss.
true loss of the whole excursion.
No flatfish.
Right before we walk out the
Flatfish.
room, I'll just go, okay, fuck it, and grab one of the ales off the table and like down the whole thing and then walk out.
Yeah, like same thing. As soon as it hits your stomach, there's this moment of
My empty stomach.
I need
of nothing
bread.
but
I'm
gruel and
drunk.
rat.
yeah. You're like it gives you that sensation of
Oh, mistake.
oh, this has flavor. This actually tastes like something.
So some taste
I'm
like
gonna
raw
feel
rat.
this for a while.
Yeah.
Do I just like hand her the bread that I put in my pocket? Just gonna.
But yeah, you notice that as he leads you out of this room and takes you through the area, like there are more gnomes just kind of like hanging about watching. And as they bring you out of this room, a couple of them are just like back up a little bit.
Just
Like-
watch my eyes red at them.
Like they aren't bothered by that. Like a couple of them are like, but it's mostly like they're backing up, and some of them are like.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, we smell that. I get
Yeah,
it.
how do you think I feel?
Luckily,
Mad
luckily
about it.
you smell better than you did after taking a freshwater river ride.
Fair.
But
Yes. Now we just smell like wet
wet,
Wet
wet
dog.
prisoner instead of dirty prisoner.
right?
Wet prisoner.
So you are led through a series of rooms. Lorgan doesn't really say anything else as he leads you through. He takes you to what amounts to, it looks like a throne room kind of situation. And there is a gnome sitting up on a big stone chair. Big for a gnome anyway. And he's just kind of sitting there like waiting for you to come in, just lounging, drinking some ale. Hello.
Hello. My name is Lord Warpip Trundlepfix, and these are my trusty companions.
Your name is what?
This is all gnomish.
Yeah, it's all gnomish.
Yeah, okay.
Presumably, assuming he greeted in gnomish.
Yeah.
Alright.
And who are your companions?
Well, this is Moira. This is Noel. And this is Calypso. They they have traveled far and wide with me from Cathari. And we kind of got tumbled up in a mess out in the ocean and found ourselves in this place. Where could you provide some insight? Where are we?
Santakis. You are here in the mountains, bordering Santak and Joplin. We have made
Two words I know.
we have made our home here for many years. Our tunnels are vast. You travel with odd companions for one of our ilk.
Well, I live an odd life, but they are trustworthy, and I owe them many great things.
Okay, well, we can get you safely out of the mountains if that's what you want. We can put you through on either side. I don't recommend the Santak side if you can help it, but if that's where you want to go,
That's understandable.
you can stay here for a period. I don't know how comfortable your friends will be.
Well, they'll next will get over it. I do have. We had some possessions with us whenever we were taken into custody, some of which are very important to us. Would you have any idea of how, if it's feasible, that those possessions might be recovered?
We have tunnels that lead to their storage rooms, where they put things that they take from their prisoners. Occasionally, we have to take back some of our
tinkerish devices, lest they fall into the hands of people that we don't wish to have them.
Of course.
We could probably get you in to get some of your belongings. Your friends are a little tall, so it might be difficult. Those tunnels are for our size persons, but we could probably get you into the room. Hopefully it's not too heavily guarded at this time.
Well,
But
I could say with confidence that any of us would be willing to fight for that stuff. So if you could show us the way, we would be even more eternally grateful.
we can probably make that happen. It's probably best to wait a day. Every time we get one of ours out of that prison, it usually takes them a day or two to calm down.
I trust your judgment.
Okay, well, we can lead you all to some accommodations. We don't have many rooms for friends of your size, for people of your friend's size, but we've got a couple of rooms that might make them comfortable. We do occasionally have some vendors that come through for some ale. So we can arrange that if you'd like, and then in a day or so, once everything seems to have calmed down, we can help you guys get your stuff back.
We would definitely thank you very much. And if and when we are able, and you can let us know how we can repay this debt, we would happily do so.
First things first, you will need a bath.
Yes, and some more ale if you've got it.
Oh, that we haven't. We have plenty.
This is an excellent ale.
He reaches down onto the side of his big stone chair, and for the first time you realize that part of the stonework is actually a handle that he flips up. And he cranks it, and there's a sound from this looks like the mouth of a lion or something built into the stone framework.
Calypso was concerned.
And a sound bellows out, and then a couple of gnomes come out of a side room
Crouch even further.
with just some folded up normal clothes,
Sacred flips.
So
wanders off.
What are they handing us? Clothes?
Yeah.
Tiny clothes?
So
That's
they're
fine.
gonna help us get our stuff back, on the condition that we bathe first. We have
Sure.
to wait a day
I
or
can do
two
that.
for things to calm down, and you guys have to call me King Pip from now on.
Now you
Yeah,
made
no.
that
that
up.
last
It's a
one
weird.
up.
Why would you think that?
Because
That he said it. It came
Inside.
straight from
I
his
know.
mouth.
Oh, that's not very good. 12.
Roll a deception if you want.
It's fine. I don't mind letting it slip that I was lying.
Okay.
But anyway,
I'll
point
call you
B.
King Pip for an hour.
I'll take
How
it.
about that?
I'll take it.
Morgan will show you to the area where you will be comfortable.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. And you were
I am Eleanor.
Eleanor.
I am the... I don't want to use the term king, but I'm the leader for at least our
What's her name?
area.
Eleanor. Well, once again, we are forever indebted to you. Thank you. If I could do something for you, you let me know.
Oh, you can be sure of it.
Fuck.
There's a couple other gnomes walk up to you and they say some things in gnomish, they expect you to understand. And
Yeah, they're gonna
I'm
take.
just
They're
gonna,
gonna, they're gonna
I'm
take us
just
to
gonna
some
follow
rooms.
this guy.
Thank you.
Oh,
What?
you don't...
No,
No.
none of us do.
Nope.
Oh, sorry. We figured you traveled with... Oh.
Nope.
I know how to sing one song.
We noticed. Sorry. They'll show you to some rooms where you can be comfortable.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Rest up.
Okay.
I really had a little bit of power for a bit, Eleanor, and you had to ruin it for me. Thanks.
Sorry.
They finally respected me.
and so yeah, the gnomes will then show you through to
some rooms where you can rest, proper beds,
Regular sized rooms.
regular sized rooms,
Yeah.
regular sized beds.
That's what it's all
I
about.
asked for a candle.
Oh.
There's a candle in your room.
Great.
I just want to see.
Fancy needing a candle.
No.
So yeah, so they lead you into, they lead you to your rooms. It sounds like Moira's just going to bed.
There's like baths in our rooms and stuff.
Well, they take you to show you where your everything is.
Communal
first.
bathhouse.
And then they take you to a communal bathhouse.
Is this our hot springs episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, effectively.
Effectively, yes.
But yeah, so they show you where your rooms are, and then they show you where you can take off or dispose of the clothing that you are currently wearing for disposal or laundering if it's salvageable, and then show you where you can bathe, and then they leave.
I'm burning mine.
Cool. Yeah, Calypso was like immediately clothes off in the bath.
Getting my stuff laundered
Okay.
and taking it back.
Yeah, I probably want to close that door.
Okay.
Not probably.
So yeah, you guys are able to bathe and eat some more food if you want, and go to your rooms and do whatever you guys are wanting to do at this point.
Get some goddamn sleep for once.
Got them peace and quiet.
Yeah, we've been awake for a little while. We kind of came out of a
Any
trance,
actual
getting
rest,
escorted
yeah.
into cells, and then yeah,
Yeah, and technically your minds were awake of
Awake.
sorts for that entire time.
for like months.
yeah,
so
your bodies were rested, but your minds were not.
yeah, that's hot bath, and then
Communicate.
If you
Down.
don't pass out in the bath.
Horizontal.
if I'm not asleep
I've
in
done
the bathtub,
before.
I do wanna light my candle when I get to my room, and then just hold it and kind of watch it for a minute and see if anything happens with the smoke.
It's just smoking right now.
Watch it for a couple more minutes.
You can make a wisdom check?
Sure.
Or an insight check?
25.
Ooh,
You remember that you did more last time than just watch the candle.
I did? What did I do? I don't remember. Maybe I wrote it down. Because I remember I followed the smoke. But I think I had my book with me.
You did have your book with you, but that's...
That's not one. That's not
and there was Pip's blood sacrifice.
What?
Remember, he took an arrow,
Oh, that's true.
aka a small dart.
Where did I do it? I didn't write it down.
Okay, so bed, ale bed.
Yeah, but
Well, I mean, I'd be drinking a shower beer, but I'm taking a bath, so
Bath ale.
it's like a bath lager.
Bath lager bed.
Yeah, bath lager.
Shower beer is a thing.
Shower beers? Yeah.
They make
are great.
they make beer holders specifically for the shower.
Do they
So
make,
Hot
and
shower,
it like suction cups onto your
do they make
wall.
wine holders for that?
Pretty
yeah.
sure, actually.
hot
yeah.
shower,
Yeah.
cold beer. It's excellent.
Yeah. It's a way to start a Sunday.
Still searching for it?
I didn't write anything down.
Okay.
Other than other than though she hides from her followers, they must not hide from her.
What were the things that you did leading up to going to your room and then following the candle?
History check.
I mean, I'll tell you in the end, but I'm giving you a chance to try to remember
I don't.
character-wise.
No, because I just remember that I had gone to try to find her in a disguise.
And what did you do while you were trying to find her in disguise?
I went down the alley.
And what did you do in the alley? This is before you went back to your room with the candle. You went to an alley. And
Yeah.
You did something in that alley.
And we are all ashamed of you.
She danced a witchy jig
No, I don't remember.
naked in the alley.
I wrote down darkened alleys in the light of day, not even fires can keep the mist at bay.
You drew her symbol upon the wall.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. Well, then I will do that in
Nineties.
this little cavern as well.
Okay. So you... In the cavern or in your room?
In my room.
Okay. So you draw her symbol on the wall of the room that you're in. You sit there and watch your candle for a while, and nothing really happens for a good long while. And are you like sitting there holding it? Or are you gonna try to go to bed?
No, I'll probably sit there hold it for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then if it doesn't do anything, then I will like set the candle on. Is there like a little table next to the bed or something? Set the candle down and then kind of just lay there and watch it for another little while, like 20 minutes. And then if it still doesn't happen, then I'll just sleep. But I'll leave the candle burning.
As you start to drift off to sleep, the candle just kind of like puffs out, and then the smoke drifts up, and you kind of feel like you're just falling asleep as the candle puffs out. And then you kind of like wake yourself back up because you want to see what happened, and you are in your misty place.
Misty place.
And,
Like in your nowhere space.
Yeah. So I will just kind of close my eyes and just sort of breathe it in for a minute. And then say, I lost it, but I'm going to get it back.
You seem to have misplaced your gift, child.
I know. I'm sorry. They took it, but I promise I'm not leaving this place without it.
I would expect nothing less.
And then I will invoke duplicity and have my little illusionary double kind of sit next to me and say thank you for my new gifts.
You are becoming useful.
I hope so. I'd like to make you proud.
Continue forward, and I'm sure you will.
Thank you.
Do not be swayed from your path.
Of course not.
And then it just, everything fades out to being actually asleep.
What the fuck was that?
And then it fades to being actually asleep.
Yeah.
And then that is basically 11 o'clock. I don't know how everybody feels.
Tired.
Tired.
I have to work at 7:30.
Yay!
We have to go to a rent fair.
We do. It's a nice day tomorrow.
Is it? Supposedly? Okay. Well, you all got out of the prison.
We got out of a prison. We were
did.
only in for like 8 hours.
Well, we were maybe only in the prison for 8 hours, but we were...
But you were trapped
We were
for a while.
captured.
We were in
Like
prison
months.
for a long time.
But now the difference is... when you stack more of the same dice on top of each other, like stack other dice on top of it, and then you get like color shifts.
Ooh, that's darker now. Ooh,
We're having fun.
But yeah, so thoughts, takeaways, impressions.
I semi wanted to escape
That
while on
sucked.
a work crew, but
Say what?
I semi wanted to escape on a work crew, but danged old security guards watching the ramps.
See, there were options and multiple ways for you to get out of that situation.
Was
What
that
were the
the,
other
was that the
options?
quickest way out?
The gnomish way, or the
Lock picking and yeah.
lockpicking and the gnomish ways were the fastest, easiest ways.
Yeah.
I half expected Calypso or Moira to just like fancy talk one of the guards and then head slam him on the gate or something.
Oh, I thought about it. I was making shit.
I have no
for
charisma.
reasons.
My charisma is very low. I didn't even.
My charisma is very high.
Mine is
and I
low.
had plans if that had not gone
And
differently.
Moira asked a guard, "Can you come closer? I need to like."
Yeah, like I need to headbutt you right now.
Sweet talk a guard that has keys on his hip.
No.
Shiv to the neck.
I almost asked about keys, but I was like, they wouldn't just give those to the guards that are on patrol because they don't want those guys to get like,
Shivved
yeah,
in
shivved.
the neck.
Yeah. Because they're literally giving you pieces of bone. I mean, they don't care.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the guards that were walking the path, most of them did not have keys. But there were still ways that you could have utilized them to get out of your cells.
Yeah, I thought about struggling when we went in. I was like, no, you gotta like know the patterns.
You gotta wait.
You gotta have a plan.
We're playing the long game here.
The literal fastest way out of that prison area would have been if you could have survived the dive to bum rush the guards and then run and dive off that platform.
That first platform?
Yeah. Where they drop him down, there's like some jagged rocks that he'd tumble against, but as you went by on the current, like there's an area where it's just open water.
Oh, like the death platform?
Yeah.
Got it.
So like if you
Run and leaping.
basically if you just bum rushed the guards to get yourselves enough room, you could have run and just jump off of that and then
But
potentially survive the
Potentially.
survive.
Hashtag level 2.
without foreknowledge of the layout.
Yeah.
If we're doing a speed run,
Or you could have waited around for them to
maybe you could be using the tray.
take you for the leeching.
Oh, maybe you do.
You could have waited around for them to take you to be leeched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will it take you out of your cell?
Yeah.
I was thinking about the leeching
Because the leeches
thing.
were
This is
in
my
the
problem.
cell.
There were some
did
leeches.
bring cards. They
There
were
were some
right there.
leeches in the cell, but they are leftover leeches. So meta, the way that those leeches work is they are from a specific place on a different planet.
I don't even know what they do.
They have the leeches brought in, and they are leeches that they use. This area uses the leeches as a test for magic because this region does not allow magic in the common.
Oh, that's true.
Only the royalty and their people are allowed to use magic.
In Santok?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so they will. What they do is, if they suspect somebody has magic, they will take a drop. Like they carry around vials, like magisters and stuff like that, carry around vials that have leeches in them, and they'll take a drop of the person's blood and drop it in the vial, and the leeches will eat the blood. And if the person has magic, the leeches will glow as they consume the blood. They're special. And so what they'll do then is they will then tie that person down and cover them with leeches, and the leeches will take out
Suck all the magic
all
out
of the magic out.
Become magical
Forever?
leeches.
For a good period of time, depending on how long they leech you. And then they will just periodically re-leech people.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I have to leave.
Oh god, that was so bad.
But yeah, so they'll literally leech the magic
You're
out of somebody.
welcome.
Solid.
Um,
I'm taking freaking inflict wounds when we start our next session.
Well, you know what? That was
Stars
on stream because that is some no dad humor.
Right.
There.
Nice
right.
to meet ya.
Nice to meet you.
but yeah,
The
so
worst.
we'll go ahead and call that here. If my buttons are still going to work with that up on the screen.
Oh man.
Yeah, that popped up and I was like, potato.
Well, that all the music stopped, and I was like,
Do
"Do we need to take a minute?" And then
It did that for a second. I didn't notice that it had come up. But yeah, it's a stupid thing that it does, where it restarts the audio engine because I haven't paid for it.
So I have like the loudest chair out of everybody, and I was so self-conscious the entire time.
That's all your metal birds.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, so then the
For some
other
initials.
option would have been to
Sim?
wait until they came to leech you and then do something at that point to try to escape.
It's the black.
Because they take you out of this prison area to a completely different area to leech you. So you could have tried to make some sort of a move then.
Yeah.
Which they're doing the big ones with embossed centers. I want them so bad.
So,
I want my face.
all right, well,
That's a bit much.
2
Doodles.
weeks you work. So, but we're out of the cliffhanger. So
They don't care.
we're gonna go back to, unless we get into another like major point. We'll probably go back to the if just one person is unavailable, then we will
play.
still play.
Right.
But in 2 weeks, you're gone too, right?
Yeah, I've got a wedding I'm in on the 21st.
Okay, so do we want to shift days shift a Friday either forward or backward then, since we'll have 2 people out on that Friday.
I can't do forward, but I can do back.
So switching to the
Reverse that.
28th.
I can do that one.
Yeah,
So the 28th. So then we would have the 28th and then the next Friday as back-to-back sessions.
I can't do the 28th.
Okay.
It's my birthday and we have plans to do a thing.
Oh, that's right. That's that Friday.
Oh yeah, we're trying to get a babysitter.
If I have to miss, that's fine.
I can.
No.
On the 21st, but you can't be there either. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. So that would be 2 people out.
So if y'all want to play next week, I won't be here.
So does anybody have any problems with next Friday then?
I could do next Friday.
I don't remember.
You don't have anything on the calendar.
Then I don't have anything.
It'll be a crazy long day, but yeah. I gotta drive to like Bandon and Goose Bay and stuff, so. But that's during the day, and then be back here, so I'll manage.
Okay.
I work Thursday.
She works every Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
So,
I can play next Friday
Okay,
if I have to.
so next Friday then, and then we will...
Oh, wait, never mind. No. I'm camping, sorry.
Oh, wait,
I'm camping.
never mind.
My friend's flying
Schedules
in
are
from
hard.
She's moving. She's
Scheduling is
flying in from Arkansas to like camp with us because then she's going to the wedding the next week.
Where in Arkansas?
I don't know. She lived here, moved to Miami with her husband, and then now they live in Arkansas somewhere.
I was born in Arkansas and lived there for quite a while in different places. My family still lives there.
Oh, yeah.
Midwest?
I was there over the holidays.
West Coast is the best coast.
So, alright, well, we'll figure out some sort of scheduling thing.
We'll be in contact.
For the next session, and then
Yeah.
we'll post that up. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and kill a stream at this point then. So, thank you everybody for hanging out and watching the stream. You can watch the replay. The VOD will be up like half an hour after we're done if you missed the first half of the stream. Otherwise, I will highlight it so that it lives on for posterity, and I'll also be exporting it to YouTube. So, until next time, peace, love, Ironwood Tavern.
Bye.